We will begin with the writing part. The question 1 is about polynomials. We are to factor them and also use formulas and simplify them. Here we have simple factorization. We just use the distributive property here. Now you can see there's 7x and 49. We need to get them factored. How we can do is, see now x is only in this first term. There is no x over here, so you can't do anything with x. But look at the number 7. This 49 can be written as a factor of 7 in the sense 49 equals 7 times 7, isn't it? So this is what we will do. We'll write 7x, let's write a bracket, just to show that this is a common term. Now plus, you can write 7 times 7. What is it? 7 times 7 is 49. The same thing I've just rewritten like this. Now whenever you have common terms like this 7 and 7 is common here, can be removed outside. And then what does remain inside? If 7 is taken off from here, only x is remaining plus 1 7 is remaining. So this is the factored form using distributive property. Now if you multiply this inside, look at this, it'll be 7x plus 49. 7 times 7 is 49. We get the question. They're just 2 steps. Because it's writing, I'm doing the 2 steps. Otherwise you can just do it in mind. Okay, 7 is common, I remove 7 outside, x is remaining, 49 divided by 7 would be 7, so this is it. Now here we cannot take 8 outside because there's 6. Whenever we remove a term outside, it must be a whole number like 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. You can't have 5.5. You can't do that. So if you take 8 here, it'll be less than 0, it'll be less than 1, 0 point something. No, we can't do that. We need a whole number. So 4 cannot be removed. 4 also cannot be removed out because 8 equals 4 times 2, but not over here. You can't get a factor of 4 to get 6. Now what we can do is we can take out 2 or write in terms of 2. See, 2 times 4m will be 8m because 4 times 2 is 8. We can split it. And this is an even number. Even this can be written as 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And you can just remove this 2 common out. You'll have 4m minus 3. This would be the factored form. Even over here, there is only a squared here. There's no a, so we can't take a outside. But phi can be removed out because the first term can be written as phi times a squared minus phi times 3. And when you remove out phi, you will have a squared minus 3. That's it. That would be the answer. So this is how simply we can use distributive property and solve these terms. Let me quickly do this. Now, I wouldn't be doing all the steps, but I'll just tell you which are the factors over here. When you see the multiples of phi, it's very easy. There's no way you can take out 10 from 25, but you can take out phi. So phi would be common outside. Over here you will have 2, and there is also q. See over here, q and q. So what I need to do is, it's not just phi, it is phi q that is removed outside. So you're remaining with 2 because q is gone. And over here you will have phi gone. 5 times phi is 25, but there is q power 2. So if you have removed 1 q outside, there's 1 more remaining. That's it. Here you can see there's a. Now this, when you write it out, you can write it as ab squared. That's the first term. Plus a is removed out. What will remain? If it's nothing, it's 1. Because a multiplied by 1 is a. Now you might be tempted to write 0. Okay, this is gone. There's nothing. 0. No, it doesn't make sense. Because if this was 0, your entire term would be 0, isn't it? It is a times 1. So whenever you remove a as a factor, you're remaining with ab squared plus nothing is 1. Now over here you can see there are three terms, and x is common in all, so x is removed outside. Nothing remains. That's 1 xy plus x squared y power 2. That's how we do this. And over here we can see it's again 3 terms. P is common outside with all the terms, so you'll have 3pr squared plus 6r plus 1. And over here you can see there is numbers 4, 16, 12, all are multiples of 4. And then a is also common with everyone, so 4a is removed outside. You're remaining with ab squared only because 4 is gone and 1a is gone. One a remains and b squared. Plus 4 is gone out of 16, so 4 times 4 is 16, so 4 remains, a is gone and b. cannot be taken out because there is no B here. So it's only A and 4. So 4 is gone, so it'll be 3. Basically, you have to just divide 12 by 4, you'll get 3. Or you can see like this, 4 times 3 is 12. And A is also outside. So that's it. So that will be the answer. And over here we have 2 only common because the least number, it must be common in all the 3 terms. So 2 can be removed out. What about H? Yeah, H is also gone out, and N. And when H is gone, there is over here 5 H power 2, and 1 N is gone. So because this is N power 1, so you're remaining with N power 2 as well over here, minus 2 is gone, H is gone, and N power 1 is remaining over here, plus 7 only. So these are the answers over here. Let's look into the solutions. All the math steps are done over here. You can follow them. Here you can see there's an extra step, removing the common term. Then you're removing it outside. So you're splitting it out, writing in terms of factors, and then you're removing the common term out, right? It would be highly desirable if you can write the step. But even if you write the final answer, it must be okay. Now we will go to these type again. It's the same thing. Here you can see it's 12 that is common outside, and then we have A and B. Sorry, it's 12AB that is removed outside, and you're remaining with 4AB minus 1. That's it. So if you multiply this term which is taken outside to the factors inside, you must get the given question. And yes, over here this will work. Now, if even over here, see now here there is not 6. Okay, 3 is a factor. 3. And what about the other alphabets? X squared not there. Why? See now you cannot take any of these letters. Why? Because X is there in this and last, whereas Y is there only in these two and W is only in the last two. So that's it. You're remaining with 2x squared Y minus 7 y squared w plus 8xw. So this is it. Now whenever you have 4 terms like this, it changes. See now the first 2 problems over here with either 2 terms or 3 terms, we just simplify it like that. Okay, there's nothing much you can do. But what happens when you have 4 terms is you need to be a little bit careful, because see x is common in these both, and over here this is already simplified, there's nothing, so you can leave it. But let's try removing this x only out of the 2 terms. So what I'm basically doing is I'm going to make this as a group and then this as a group. Let's solve one by one. So if I remove 1x outside from here, what is remaining? X plus 3 remains. Plus, what can be removed common? Nothing can be removed. In that case, I'll just write 1 because there's nothing removed outside. X plus 3. Is that okay? Now, why am I doing this? See, this is like if I multiply x inside, I'm going to get these 2 terms. If I multiply 1 inside, I'm going to get these 2 terms. It's balanced. I've done nothing wrong. The equation is balanced. But here, if I write this in another way, instead of x plus 3, let x plus 3 equal to a. Okay, imagine x plus 3 is a. So over here, what does it seem? X multiplied by a plus 1 multiplied by a. Can I remove this 2 term common out, a and a? Yes, of course, I can take a outside, and what will remain is x plus 1, isn't it? The same way, I can remove this term x plus a. Now, instead of a, I'll substitute back x plus 3. See, this one. I'll just change wherever x plus 3 was there, a was there, I'll put x plus 3. That was the thing. Okay, that's this question itself. Now I'm going to remove this term outside x plus 3. So what does remain? This is gone, and you're remaining with x plus 1 only. So this is how we solve this particular problem. Let us look at the next problem as well. Over here, you can group them differently, or I'll just take these itself, okay? These 2, and over here these 2. What is common over here? I can just take x over here, and what remains is 2x minus 5. Now, what is the common term I can remove from here? You can't take 2 because 15 is not divisible by 2, but I can take 3 outside. So what remains? 3 is gone, it'll be 2x minus 5. Now 2 minus x and minus pi and 2x minus pi is common again. So I'm going to remove that term outside. 2x minus 5 multiplied by what remains is x plus 3. That's the answer. That's the factors. Let's do it again. Here I can see 3 and 6, so I'll remove 3 outside. N I'll remove it outside, so I'm remaining with n only plus 2p. Why? Because over here 3 is gone, so 2p. Now here I will remove minus because I want it in positive. Remember, this term must match here. Whatever you're removing doesn't matter, but this, whatever remains, must be the same thing. Now it's plus here and minus minus, so always remove the negative term. In such cases, I remove the minus. So what else? P is removed. So you're having only n, that's positive n because minus is gone and p is gone. And here minus is gone, so it'll be plus, and p is gone, it'll be 2p. See, these both will match. So what you can do is the final answer, write that whatever is inside the bracket and what's remaining here outside, 3n minus p. So these are the two factors. That's it. Now what about over here? So here you can see this one, usually you will have whole numbers, right? But let's look at the problem properly. Here you can see it's 0.15. So here we have 0.15, 0.5, 1.2 and everything, right? In such cases, we can use a thumb rule. Whatever, because there's decimals and you might get confused, whatever is this first number, just remove that outside. So in this case, for the first two, I'll just remove 4. And I'll take x because x is common. My goal is to make the first term x, that's it. Because if I remove 4 and x, only x will remain, right, from x squared. So x is gone. Now, how do you do this? Here, all you have to do is basically divide this by 4. So it is 1.2 divided by 4. You just use a calculator. 12 by 4 is 3. Since there's a decimal, it's 0.3. Now, the answer is only 0.3 here. Now, what about this right side? Remove whatever this coefficient of x plus 0.5, just take it outside. What happens is x minus, it should be 0.3 here. But anyways, we'll check in calculator, or you can just do it over here. Divided by 0.5. So I will just take... okay, this is 15, but yeah, it's 0.35, 1 time, 3 times, it's 0.3 itself, okay? So the decimal point says 1, 1, so you already put the decimal over here. That's the answer, isn't it? So here, both the sides matches. Now you can take out x minus 0.3 outside, and then you will have 4x plus 0.5. That's the remaining answer. So just remember here, whenever you have decimal points or problems like this, try to remove whatever is at the first term, and whatever you get, just leave it like that, okay? Now here, it will match. You know, the questions will be given such that they'll match. They'll not give otherwise. So that's how we can solve it. You can see all the solution sets here. So that's how we do the last one. It's minus, right? Yes, correct. That's the answer. Now, these are pretty straightforward. Even these are, again, similar. So what we need to do is we need to group any two terms. What I'll do over here, 3x is removed out and y can't be removed. You're remaining with 3x only minus y. What about over here? Over here we can remove only 2, yeah. And you will have 3x minus y only because 2 is gone. And now see this, whatever happens, these two will match. It'll be 3x plus 2. I can write it either way. I can write these two terms first, multiplied by 3x minus y. That's the answer. Now over here, similarly, 3 is common outside. And there is x as well. And you're remaining with 3 is gone, x plus 8. And over here, minus. See, in this case, again, you need to see on the left side. See, only x is remaining, right? Whenever decimal point, remove that decimal altogether. Remove 1.5 minus 1.5. If you take out, what happens is here it'll be x. Okay. Now one more thing, minus 1.5 is taken, so it's positive x, and this will become positive. Now what happens is we'll just divide 12 by 1.5. You can use your calculators here. 4, 5. If it's taken outside, then 4 by 5 is 0.8, but since there's you have to multiply all the decimals over here, you have to just move this over here right side. 8 will be, yes, it should be 8. Okay, it should match anyways. So now when we remove this common out, 8 plus x plus 8, you can write this first or second, doesn't matter, the other term will be so much. So this is how we do it. Now if you're thinking, oh god, it's too long video, please skip all this. If you have understood, I'm just trying to do all the problems in the writing part, that's why it's taking long. Here we have, again we have decimals. So what do? Whatever is this first term, you just have to take it outside and make this first term x. Now 2x is removed, so x is remaining minus. Now over here, divided by 2, it will be just 0.3 and x is gone. Now what happens here, you should take plus 3 outside. Why? Because you have to have x alone. Now this 0.9 divided by 3 is 0.3. And now x minus 0.3 is a common term, and you're remaining with 2x plus 3. So this is how we solve these terms. You can see these are all the answers. Now you can see over here in the middle one, the second term is written first and the first term is written second. That's absolutely fine. There's no problem in that, even over here, I believe. So these are the answers. If you can follow these all steps, then it's fine. But otherwise, whatever I've written over here, that's plenty. This is more than enough to get full marks as well. So then we will move to the next type of problems. There are 3 types here. You can see the first one was using distributive property. It's over. Now factoring trinomials, which are a squared plus bx plus c. Now this one over here, I'll do one problem properly, but then I will tell you the shortcut methods, okay? The calculator method, which most of my students generally prefer. So the actual method is, now when you have trinomials like this, you need to find factors to split the middle term, and then you factor it out. Then once we have 4 terms, 1, 2, 3, 4, we know we just now factored it out, right, a while ago. So we do that. But how do we split this? Because now there is no common in these 3. Now, if there are common terms, then fine, you take out common terms. There's no common in phi or x, nothing. So what we do in such cases is, see these 2 terms, the first and the last, a and c terms. We multiply them. 5 times 24 is 240 by half is 120 here. So 120, and what is the middle term? Write it down over here, 34. So we need 2 factors, 2 numbers, such that when you multiply them, the answer will be 120, and when you add them, it will be 34. So now you need to think, they also suggest you can do a table and everything, but that is not required. Table is not required. As long as you know the factors, that's more than enough. Now only for this I'll let you struggle. You can pause the video now and just try to think of terms. I'll try it along with you. Now there's 120. So which are the factors of 120? I know 12 times 10 is 120. And how else can I get? I can get 20 times 6. Okay, that is fine. How other ways, 15 is divisible, right? So 15 times how much? 15 times 10 is 150, so it'll be 15 times 8, I guess. No, 15 times 75, 90, yeah, 18. Okay, 15 times 18, right? 15 times 8, sorry, my bad. And what else? Nothing is helping us because we need the number to be 34. So let's see now. These are not helping, right? Let's see the number. This is a 34, right? See numbers close to it. I'll try whole numbers very close to it. It's about 30. See, 30 times 4. Now this is the answer I know. I didn't know when I started solving, but I got to know when I was just doing over here. So 30 times 4 is also 120. So another way to see is, see the number close to this and check 30 times 4. Let's see. 30 times 4. Since it's both positive, it's very easy. 30 times 4, when you multiply, it's 120, and when you add it, it's 34. So we need to split this middle term. 5x squared remains as it is, plus 24 remains as it is. But here, the middle term is split into 30x plus 4x. This is same. Why? Because when I add them up, it'll be 34. Now, again, if you're not understanding this at all, don't worry. I will tell you a shortcut calculator method in which you can get all these terms. Okay. Now, after this, what do? Is you take the terms common. Phi is common outside. Phi and x, sorry. Your 5x can be removed common outside. So what is remaining is only x plus 5 is gone 6. And here you remove 4 outside, so x plus 6. Now x plus 6 and x plus 6 is common. And we have 5x plus 4 x plus 6. So this is the answer. This is the factors. Now they did not ask you the x value. If you want to find the x value over here, you just equate them to 0. So x would be minus 4 by 5 and x would be equal to minus 6. But this is not required. But the calculator method will give you this. But this is the answer. How I got this? Just equate this 5x plus 4 equals 0. Take this 4 to the other side. You will have 5x is equal to minus 4 because it goes to the other side, and x is equal to minus 4 divided by 5. That will be the answer. And for x plus 6 equals 0, x equals negative 6. So this is the method. Now you need to try and write this. But don't worry, I will tell you now an easier method. See, the textbook solution sets are very huge. They have lots of factors and everything. You don't need to do this all. You just have, if you write this much, it's enough. You can just check with your teachers, because I would definitely give my students full marks even if they have not written this. If they have just written this much, I'll be awarding them full marks. But some teachers may expect you to at least do not a table, at least these factors. So just check with your teacher, are they flexible, if this is okay. Now let me show you the easy shortcut method. We all need our calculators for this. Now here we did this by the manual method, but if you use a calculator, let's press mode, you get equation option, that's more than 5, and this is quadratic, that is option number 3, that's power 2. By pressing mode 5 3, you get this screen here. Then all you need to do is type in ABC values. A is the first term, see this 5, whatever is the coefficient of the highest degree, that's x power 2. So 5 is over here. What about the next term, 34, which is the coefficient of x? And last is just the number 24. We need to write it entirely. So now the answer which we get is x equals negative 4 by 5 and x is equal to minus 6. These two answers are very crucial. Now I'll clear everything over here. Let me just clear it off and let me show you how we can do the calculator method, like directly. So from this given question, you get these x values. Please don't write it up above, write it somewhere at the bottom. X will be equal to minus 4 by 5. X is equal to minus 6. Now from here, you're building it upwards. Now you can use some other place just to see what is the factor over here. Now, just beside, in a rough space, you can write this. X is equal to negative 4 by 5, isn't it? So 5 goes to the other side. So what happens is it'll be 5x equals minus 4. Now just don't take negative 4 by 5 to the other side. It'll be x plus 4 by 5. Don't do that. Take this divided by to the other side. It becomes multiplication. And now this negative 4 to the other side will be 5x plus 4. That's equal to 0, isn't it? Now this is a factor. We don't write equal to 0. We just want the factor. Whereas the next one, x minus 6 equals 0. So, sorry, x equals negative 6. Okay. This is wrong. It's minus 6 over here. So now what you do is take it to the other side. It'll be x plus 6. That's it. That's the factor. So now we will write these two factors here. 5x plus 4 and you have x plus 6. Now here you need to know the FOIL method, that's multiplication. This multiplied by this multiplied by this, here and here. Okay, so 5 times x will be 5x squared plus, then 5 times 6 is 30x plus 4 times x is 4x, and lastly we have the numbers 4 times 6 is 24. You got the statement right? Now here if you simplify this, you get the question. Don't do that. But what are the factors? The factors are always the terms with the x, the coefficients of x. Factors are 30 and 4. This is more than enough. If you write this much, you should get full marks, these three. But now they might be like thinking, okay, how did you directly get it? Like, I mean, you're not done anything, right? Of course, you can do this directly in mind as well without simplifying. If you want, you can write some extra steps. What extra steps? Now, say, for example, factoring out 5x and all that, what we used to do before, like trying to, make it a bit more. But this much should be more than enough. But what I would suggest is write like this over here and over here two numbers. What are these? This is very handy. This shows you at the right side, multiply the given question 5 and 24, that is 120, and here in the middle write 34. I'm sure it's very hard to find the factors. You may not get it in your mind, but now from the calculator method you easily know the factors. So write over here 30 and 4. If you write this, whatever I've written in brown color, and this much, it's more than enough. You are supposed to get full marks. You can even double check with your teacher. The reason I'm saying this is sometimes if your teacher wants a specific method, then they might expect you to write that same thing. But I would highly suggest you to go and speak over there. Ask your teacher, is this okay? And I'm sure 99% of the teachers will be absolutely fine with this method because this is absolutely valid. So let's work on these problems for a bit. Let me do another. See, that's the answer. Let me do another one. Now here we have mode phi 3, and then let's put in the coefficients 2, 19, 24. There is one thing you must always see when the question is any number removable, in the sense is it divisible by any number. Now this 19 is an odd number, so we cannot remove out 2, so nothing is divisible, nothing can be removed, so leave that. Okay, directly put it in the calculator. You get the answers here. X is equal to negative 3 by 2, and then there's one more answer because it's quadratic. There are two solutions. X is equal to minus 8. X is equal to minus 8. So how can we write the factor? Now directly you can do this. 2 goes to the other side, will be 2x, and 3 to the other side will be plus 3. This is one factor. X plus 8 is another factor. Now multiply here. 2x squared, then over here with the 8 plus 16x, and then we have 3 times x, it's 3x plus 3x, and lastly we have plus 24. Now it's not over. What you need to write is factors are 16 and 3. They're plus 3 and plus 16, because when it's a minus sign it changes. Okay, so it's better to write the sign as well. Now over here you can do this simple demonstration to get the values. 2 times 24 is 48, and over here we have 19, so it's 16 and 3. If you multiply 16 and 3 you get 48, and if you add them you'll get 19. I'm sure now it's very easy, but if you're directly trying to find the factors, it will take time, isn't it? So that's it. Let's try some other problems. Okay, this one is important. Why? Because here, when I look at the problem, I see there are all even numbers, so I can remove 2 outside. It'll be 2 times x squared plus 11, sorry, it's 2x squared. 2 times 2 is 4. 11x plus 5. Now what we do is we cannot simplify it further, and here we use the calculator. So let's take our calculators. Again, we do mode 5 and 3, and then type in the values. Only these inside values, 2, 11, and 5. And the values are negative half and negative 5. So x is equal to minus half, x is equal to minus 5. Now when we get them inside, this is, see, now don't take it as 0.5. Take it as a fraction itself. 2 goes to the other side will be 2x. Then 1 to the other side will be plus 1. This is one factor, and x plus 5 is another factor. Now let's multiply. So here, okay, there's one thing to understand. This 2 which is removed out, right, will also be over here. This is also a factor. So this is one thing. Now if you put this entirely in the calculator, right, you will just get these two answers, but then it won't match the given question, because your calculator, right, automatically will simplify this to the most reduced form and then solve for its solution. So this step 2 will be missing. So you must simplify it first and then use the calculator. And now here what we do, we multiply this 2 inside, it'll be 2x squared plus 10x plus, it's 1 time x is 1x plus 5. This entire thing will be multiplied by 2. See, now if you multiply by 2, you're going to get this. I mean, we added, yeah, this is the thing. So after this step, now you have to leave some space here. You have to write factors are 10 plus 10 and plus 1. Now here you can do this. 2 times 5 would be, sorry, 2 times 5 is 10. And then here we have addition would be 11. So now what would be the solution here? So here we need 10 times 1 will be 10 and the answer is 11. So this is the answer. Please don't do it directly from here. This is how we would do it. So this is the answer for this. Now similarly, you can say that's the answer. See, the final answer will always have this 2 common outside. 2 times 2x plus 1 and x plus 5. That's it. Now then over here, it's again, we have to remove the 2 term outside. We will have 2x squared plus, here will be 19x plus 35. And now we can put this in calculator. Let me do this quickly as well. Mod 5 and 3. We have 2, 19, and lastly we have 35. And the answer is negative 5 by 2 and negative 7. X is negative 5 by 2, x is negative 7, and over here we have, it'll be 2x plus 5, x plus 7, and then we multiply it inside 2x squared plus 14x plus 5x plus 35. And then over here we write factors are 14 plus 14 and plus 5. Now here don't forget this 2 because we have already removed it outside. First step is always checking whether there are any common factors. So this would be the solution. Now you can also write this over here 70 because it's 2 times 35 70, and over here it's 19. The factors would be 14 and 5. So 14 times 5 is 70, and when you add them up it'll be 19. So this is how we do this. The reason I will be solving everything in writing from calculator method is your solution set might vary slightly, so I'll just solve all these problems. Now if you're thorough with this, you can just skip ahead and move to the last topic. That is, in the question 1 there are 3 topics. That last one will be factoring binomial using formulas. So now I will continue with the next 11 questions, 25 to 36, in writing. I'll do them quickly because you already know them. Here let's do mode. Now there's no common terms over here. Mode 5 and 3, 2 minus 3, and lastly we have minus 9. And x is 3, x was 3, and x is equal to negative 3 by 2. So when we take this x inside, it'll be minus 3. This is one factor. And then over here, it'll be 2x plus 3. So let's multiply. It'll be 2x squared. X times 2x is 2x squared plus 3x minus, now over here it'll be 3 times 2, it's 6x minus 6x minus 9. So now if you simplify this, you get the question. So we write the factors are, it'll be plus 3 and negative 6. So these are the 2 factors. Here when we write the table, you can also write it as 2 times 9 is 18. Now remember, this is minus, so minus 9 times 2 is negative 18. The signs are very important, and minus 3. So we need 2 numbers such that when we multiply, it's negative answer, that's negative 18, and when we add them, it must be negative 3. So whenever over here there is minus, that means only one of the factors is minus, these numbers, right? One will be minus, one will be plus. Because otherwise, if you have both minus, the answer over here will be negative, positive, or if you have both plus, it's positive. Only when one is minus or plus and other one is plus, we get negative like this. So anyways, we know it from the calculator. These are the factors. That's it. That's how we can get it. And so that's the answers. Let's do the next one here, mod phi 3. I won't be able to take any terms out because over here there's an odd number, then other two are even. 4 minus 13, and then lastly we have 10, 2 and 5 by 4. So x equals 2, x equals 5 divided by 4. So x minus 2 is one factor, and it's 4x, 4 goes to the other side, minus 5 is one more factor. Now what next? Multiply them up, 4x squared here, and then it'll be negative 5x minus, sorry, negative 2 times negative 5 will be now, oh no, sorry, I was confused a bit. So x times 4x is 4x squared, x times minus 5 is minus 5x itself. Okay, that's minus 5x. Then minus 2 times 4x is minus 8x. And lastly, we have minus and minus is plus 10. So this is it. Factors are minus 5 and negative 8. So here we can just multiply these two. It's 40 divided by 40 and negative 13. So we need either 2 minus or 2 plus, but since we have negative over here, it should be minus and minus, because when we add two negative numbers we get positive, right? So here what are the factors? It's 8 and 5. 8 times 5 is minus and minus becomes plus, and it's 40. Add them up, you'll have negative 13. So here you just add them up. Okay, so if you do this much, you are supposed to get full marks. Absolutely, that's the main thing. And that's the answers. What about this one? Let's directly do it. Mod 5 and 3. Now since 3 is odd and other two are even, you can't take any common term. It'll be 2, 3, and lastly we have 6. Okay, now look over here. You are having imaginary number I. In such cases, you don't have any factors. You don't write this answer, okay? Whenever you see this I, it's imaginary number. So that basically means it's prime. See, this prime means there's no factors here, okay? So how do we write it? I don't think so they'll give you this in writing, because then you can just write this is prime. This trinomial is prime. Over here it is prime because it has no factors that satisfy the conditions. You know, it has no factors. You can tell it has it cannot be factored. Because it cannot be factored would be nice. You can write your own thing. Cannot be factored. It can't be factored. And then if you try to do it as well, 2 times 6 is how much? 12. Sorry, this 2 times 6 will be 12 and divide by 3. Can you multiply two numbers and get 12 and add them to get to a 3? Let's try. Factors of 12. I'll write all the factors of 12, starting with starting with 12 itself. I'll start 12 times 1, or 1 times 12 is one factor. Then let's half this 12. It'll be 6 times 2, or 2 times 6. Then let's try 3 times 4, or 4 times 3. Then if we go down, it'll be again 2, which are all mentioned, right? So these are all the factors. When we multiply these all numbers, we get 12, but let's add them up. Okay, let's add them to 12 plus 1. It's 13 here. 13. Let me even try negative and negative. It'll be negative 13, doesn't matter. If 1 is negative, it won't be able, because this is positive, so it should be both minus, minus 13. So here when you add it up, it'll be 8. If it's both negative, it'll be minus 8. 4 plus 3 is 7. Now what if they both are minus? It'll be minus 7. See, there is no way you can get 3 from these two factors, from the numbers which you multiply and get 12. So therefore what you can say is it is prime. This cannot be factored, okay? So let's look into the answer. See, these are the factors they have given. 1 and 12, 12 and 1, it's the same thing. That's why they're not written it again. There are no factors with a sum of 3, therefore trinomial cannot be factored and it is prime. You just have to mention, most important thing, this is prime. Now what are this A, B and C? A is the coefficient of x squared, this is B and C. You can see in your topic details also they are mentioned A, B, C. Now let's do this problem. Calculator is a must. It's mod phi 3, phi 3 and 4. Now again, you're getting I, so that means this is also imaginary. I mean, roots are imaginary. That means this is a prime trinomial. Let's try the next one. It'll be 12, 69, and 45. Okay, now we have factors. So let's start writing it. X is equal to negative 3 by 4th. And then what is the next factor? X is equal to negative 5. So let's take this 4 to the other side. It'll be 4x plus 3. Because it's minus here, when it moves to the other side, it becomes plus. What about here? This goes inside. It'll be x plus 5. And now let's multiply. 4 times. No, okay, I just forgot to check for common terms. Now, wait a minute, guys. I can see there is 3 a common term. 3 can be removed as common. Why? Because 3 is divisible in 12. It's 4 times like square plus 3 10 times is 30, then it's 60 20, and 23 times is 69. And what about this? 15 times. 15 times 3 is 45. So this is very crucial. Now, doesn't matter even if I put this answer, the roots will be the same. Look here. Let me go mod 5 and 3. Let me now put, instead of 12, I'll put 4, 69, 23. And lastly, we have 15. The answers are the same. It's negative 3 by 4 and minus 5. Whenever the calculator solves it up, it will be simplified already. So now you must remember from the question to factor out the common term. And this 3 to be multiplied. Now, what happens here? We have to multiply 4 times x. That will be 4x squared plus 4 times 5 is 20x plus 3x plus 4 times 3 is 5 times 3 is 15. This all will be multiplied by 3. Now here we came to know the factors. The factors are 20 and 3. Both are positive. So here 4 times 3 would be 60, isn't it? So 60 here. And then over here we have 23. So it will be 20 times 3 positive, positive. So that will be the solution. And what about 38? So you can see that's the answers. 3 is very important to be removed common outside. Now here, since it's odd and even, no common factors, let's directly do mod 5 and 3. The first term is 4, then we have negative 5, and lastly we have 7. Okay, it's imaginary, so it's prime. Okay, we have to just write about its prime. The trinomial is prime. Mod 5, 3, we're nearly there. 3 minus 8, 15. Here, again, it's prime, okay? So this cannot be factored. You can write the given trinomial is prime, and hence it cannot be factored. Let's try this one. It's 5, 23, 24. Okay, here we are getting the answer. It'll be x is equal to negative 8 by 5, and x is equal to minus 3. Now here it'll be 5 times x plus 8 because this goes inside. That's one factor, and you have x plus 3. That's another factor. Now here we can't take anything common outside because 5 is a prime number. There's no way you can remove it common over the even numbers and odd. Now let's multiply 5 times 5 would 5x times x would be 5x squared plus 15x plus 8x plus 24. So it's 5x squared, 15x, 8x, 24. Now here the factors are plus 15 and plus 8. So here if you do 5 times 24, that is 120, and over here we have 23. You can get it by 15 and 8. So 15 times 8 will be 75, 90. Yeah, it's 120. And obviously it should be because we have got it from here, but just double checking. And when you add it up, it's 23. So that is the 32nd question. Now over here, it's better to put these arrows also, okay? This one. So this will be the factors. Moving ahead to 33rd, you can see that's the correct answer. We have again another similar problem. Let's do mod 5 and 3. And then what do we have here? It's 2, 3, and minus 6. So let's see the answer. Okay, now there is no I here. Don't think, okay, we will press SD, it's 1.137. No. This number which we are getting is irrational. Whenever we get irrational number, that is, it's prime. We cannot factor them. Whenever we have fractions, say minus 1 by 2, this is a rational number like 0.5. All the numbers in the previous cases, if you see properly, now here we got minus 8 by 5. That's a rational number. Why? Because when you press SD, it'll be stopping. It's not like irrational, it keeps on going. But here, if you see, this is an irrational number, so we cannot use this. See, whenever the numbers take such form with, radicals and all, and fractions, no, it is prime. Is that clear? Now, we have proved it before. We can even see this now. 2 times minus 6 is minus 12. And here we have 3. So try the factors of 12. Oh, here the factors are already shown. You try them. There is no way you can get two numbers. When you multiply, it'll be negative 12, and when you add, it'll be positive 3. There's no way. See, these are the things. The closest we come is 3, and then we are having 1, but they are not 3. So we cannot. So therefore, we tell it is prime. So we are inching very close to the final ones. Again, we have to take mode phi 3. Mode phi and 3 here. That will be 2 minus, sorry, it's plus 9 and minus 5. It's half and minus 5. So let's write it out over here. X is equal to half. X is equal to minus 5. Take 2 to the other side, will be 2x minus 1 equals, sorry, don't write that, equals 0. You have to just put the brackets. Over here, it will be x plus 5. Then what else? 2x multiplied by x will be 2x squared. And then we have plus 5 times 2 is 10x minus 5. And this is it. What are the factors? Factors are 10, that is plus 10, and minus 1. If there's nothing, it's minus 1 basically. Now you can see over here 2 times minus 5 will be minus 10, and over here we have 9. Let's multiply 10 and minus 1. So you'll get minus 10 because negative sign is there, and add them up, it'll be plus 9. And that's it. So it's so easy with this calculator method. And here again, now see, this is also same. It's just that instead of x, your y. So do the same thing, mode phi 3. Consider this y to be x itself. That's absolutely fine. It'll be 2, then we have plus 1, and lastly we have minus 1. So what are the answers? Half and minus 1. So x is equal to half, that was positive, x is equal to minus 1. Let's take to the other side, 2x, then 1 comes to the other side, becomes negative, and x plus 1. Multiply here, 2x. Now here it's not x. I'm so sorry. You need to change all this x to y's because they have given in the question as y. Don't do that mistake. Or if you have done it entirely, now you have done all the final answer, then you can just write is u y is equal to x, then that's fine, if you have written x also, so that's okay. You can just alter it over here, but if you can, just write it as y itself. Is that okay? So it'll be 2y times y is 2y squared, then we have plus 2y minus y plus, sorry, it's minus 1. Why? Because negative 1 times positive 1 is minus 1. The factors over here would be, factors are plus 2 and minus 1. So here we have 2 times minus 1 is minus 2, and over here we have 1. So it is 2 and minus 1. Look at this. Multiply 2 times minus 1, it's minus 2. Add them up, you will have 1. So that's the answer. And lastly, we have this over here. Instead of x, we have h. That's also fine. Mode phi 3. There is no common term because phi is odd. Now 4, 8, and lastly we have negative 5. The answer is half and minus 5 by 2. So x is equal to half, x is equal to minus 5 divided by 2. Now here this 2 goes to the other side, will be 2x, and 1 to the other side, minus 1. And over here again 2x plus 5. Now how do you solve it? Multiply this, it'll be 4. Again, I did a mistake, right? X I have written. It should be h. So I will take assume, because I'm just lazy to change it all, x is equal to h. Please don't try to do that. Try to write h itself over here, h, everything. Now, anyways, I'll just change it. Okay, this is nullified now. You don't need that. So here it'll be 2h times 2h, it's 4h squared. 2h times 5 would be 10h minus 2h minus 5. Now factors are 10, that is positive, and minus 2 and minus 2. So here 4 times 5 is negative 20 because it's negative 5, and over here we have 8. So 10 times minus 2, multiply it, you'll get negative 20, and add it, you will have positive 8. So that is the answer, and that's the final question in this. You can see that's the correct answers. Doesn't matter you write this term first or other term first, that'll be all right. And now we move on to the last third topic in the question 1. That is again to factor, but using differences of squares. Now, what is difference of squares? Let me write the formula. If you have a power 2 minus b power 2, this is given by the identity a plus b, a minus b. This is the formula. Now the same thing, if you have any other terms, say x over here, x squared minus 3 squared, then we can write it as x plus 3, x minus 3. You don't need to factor or anything. You don't. This can be already done. Now, how this can be proven is, it's very simple. X times x, what is it? X squared. X times 3x is minus 3x. 3 times plus x will be plus 3x, and 3 times 3 is minus 9. It's negative over here, negative 3. So this cancels off. You're remaining with x squared minus 9, right? So it's already proven. That's the identity. Now here, you instead of solving it, all that, you directly use the identity, that is difference of squares. Now first step would be writing it in the reduced form. This is already q squared, that's fine. But here it's a single number that can be written in square. How would you solve it? If you can't think of any number which is multiplied itself to give 121, then you can use your calculator. But here, if you know the powers, 11 squared will be 121. Directly you can do it. Otherwise, you can also use your calculator. I'll show you now. All you need to do is go to the computation mode. Use this radical symbol. That's square root. 121. What is the answer? It's 11. So 11 squared would be 121. That's it. So now we have written q squared minus 11 squared. That would be equal to q plus 11, q minus 11. Now, if it's in the writing exam, don't just write this answer. First, write the formula. A squared minus b squared equals a plus b, a minus b. This is the identity. And after this only, please write this. Now, what about over here? The identity is not for power 4. It is only for power 2. So now here, what we can do is r squared the whole power 2 minus k squared the whole power 2 is same. Why? Because the powers will be multiplied. It will be 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is 4. So here, what would be the answer? I mean, the substitution of the power, it will be inside, whatever is the inside. Now, this was outside square, so we have only q and 11. But here, already we have squared. It's power 4. So it will be r squared plus k squared. And over here again, r squared minus k squared. But before that, you should write the identity for each problem. I just written once. So please make a habit to write this for every question. Then, now can you see this r squared minus k squared? Again, we can apply the same identity. But if it is plus, no, we don't have any identity for a squared plus b squared. No, this doesn't have. We leave it. That's simplified. Done. We can't do anything further. But here, we take it as r plus k, because what is the below term? It's just r. The squared will be factored out. And over here we have r minus k. If you multiply this, we get this above thing. And if you start multiplying this, we get the above. So that is the simplification for the second one. So you can see here, that is how we get it. Whenever you have any two squares and it's subtraction in between, that's difference of squares. Difference is minus, right, of squares. So we have to use the identity and simplify it further. Now what about these? Now here you might be wondering, okay, how can I do this? There are two ways to do this. So you need your calculator for this. Now one way would be just taking square root of 625, that's 25. Or you can even take cube root, so that is like shift, sorry, not cube root, root of power 4, shift and this symbol, right over here 4, because it's power 4, right? 625, that'll give you 5, right? 625, that is 5. So one way would be writing it like this. I'll do both the methods, okay? It's up to you to choose which you want. One is directly like this. So then we write it as w squared the whole squared minus 5 squared the whole squared, that is equal to w squared plus 5 squared, and we have w squared minus 5 squared. Don't forget, we have to continue this further. Left side is done. 5 squared is 25, done. We can't do anything else. But here we can write it as w plus 5, w minus 5. This is it. Now what about another method? That is w to the power 4 minus, it's 25 squared is 625, right? So I'll write it like this. So here only at the left side I will change w squared the whole power 2 minus 25 the whole squared, and then I split it out. It'll be w squared plus 25 and w squared minus 25. And then this doesn't change. See, we don't have to split it again. Already we got this simplified here, but this one we know is 5 squared, right? So w squared. Now over here it might look bigger, but it's almost the same. Just one time over here, it'll be an extra step. Why? Because 25, I'm writing it as 5 squared. And then w squared plus 25. Here we will have w plus 5, w minus 5. The answer will be the same. It's up to you to choose. I would personally go with this because it's you can easily get this in the calculator and do it. But sometimes students get confused over here what to take, power 4 or something like that. So I just always tell use the square root and you'll get 25, and then also you can solve it. It's up to you. Now what about the next one here? So we have r squared, and this 9 can be written as 3, and t is already squared, so it'll become a whole squared now. Why? Because if you square it up, it'll be 9 and t squared. That's the same thing. So now let me split it out. It'll be r plus 3t. That's one factor. R minus 3t is another factor. That's it. But you need to write the identity and then split it out. So this is how we solve it. Even over here, the same thing. Here now, 256. Let me do using power 4. I'll show in the calculator. Now here in the radical 4 to the power 4, just put 256. The answer is 4. And now what you do is h to the power 4 minus 4 power 4. This can be written as h squared the whole power 2 minus 4 squared to the power 2. It'll be h plus 4. This is all squared. That's done. H squared minus 4 squared. Here we will have h squared plus 4 squared is 16. And here we will have h plus 4, h minus 4. That's it. That's the simplification. Now what about the second one over here? This is like the distributive property which we did long time ago. It's just that here squared is common. We'll take x squared outside. There are 4 terms, right? So we'll take x squared, and what is remaining? 2x minus 1. And over here 81, see, it should be 2x. So I know 81 times 2 is 161. So directly, oh, now don't just take 81. If you take 81, it'll be negative 2x. It's a confusion. So make sure you make this first term positive because it's positive. Almost always you will keep the first term positive. So what we will do is, let's take minus also outside, and then we will take 81. So what is remaining? Minus becomes plus. 162 divided by 81 is 2, and x minus 1 because 81 is gone outside. So this is a x squared minus 81 Now 2x minus 1, that will be the answer. But now it's not over. Why it's not over? Because here you can use the difference of squares, isn't it? This is x squared minus 9 squared. 81 is 9 squared. And then 2x minus 1. So it'll be x plus 9, x minus 9, 2x minus 1. So that would be the final answer. So here you can see it's all simplified, and that's the answer. Similarly, let's solve these. Over here, the second eighth question is just like what we did a while ago, just now, the sixth question. But this one here, the simple x squared minus 2y the whole squared, and then we have x plus 2y, x minus 2y. That's it. Whereas over here, let's take common terms outside. Which terms are common? Only c power 2. And then we have 3c plus 2. That's it, because c squared is gone outside. And here negative is common. And we can't take 98 because 98 2 times doesn't, it's 196. So it's not 147. But see, it's all very, very close to 50s. So is it 50? 51, 50 times 2 is 100, 150. 1 less than 50 is 49. So it's 49 here because nearest whole number is 50. Then we can see it's 3 times 50. But now 49 times 3 is 147 exactly. Minus 49 is gone. So you're remaining with 3 times c. Why? Because 147 divided by 49 is 3 and c remains. What about over here? 98 divided by 49 is 2. But the minus sign is also removed out. So it'll be plus 2. These two terms must be equal. Now it'll be c squared minus 49. And we have over here 3c plus 2. You can't split this out. But over here, left side, yes, you can split it further. It's going to be c plus 49. Sorry. What am I doing? You should write over here c squared plus, sorry, minus c squared minus 7 squared. Let's do that step. That is very important. And now we will use the formula. It's better to write the formula of a squared minus b squared somewhere in the paper, maybe right side, extreme right or down somewhere, related to that question. It'll be a plus b, a minus b. So we have c plus 7, c minus 7, and we have 3c plus 2. So this is it. That's how we simplify it. And even these problems are just like the same one. I think so they are almost all the same now. You can stop all this, you can skip through whichever problem you want, or you can move to the next question altogether, but I'll just solve all these anyways. Here, what is common? It's only f power 2. So we are remaining with f plus 2, and over here minus, say 64 2 times. I know that it 64 twice is 120 plus 8, so it's 128. I'll just take minus 64 outside, so you'll have f plus 2. Many do the mistake in the sign, so just be very careful with the sign, okay? So f squared minus 64 is one term, and then we have f plus 2. What about this? It'll be f squared minus 8 squared, f plus 2, and over here we have f plus 8, and over here we have f. My f is just changing, so that this alphabet is f, okay? F minus 8, and then we have f plus 2. So that's the answer. Here as well, r squared is common outside. It'll be minus 5, and then we have minus to be taken out, and minus how much? 100. So what's remaining is r minus 5, because minus is removed out. It's plus, changes its sign to minus. Now we have r squared minus 100, and we have r minus 5. So it's r plus r squared minus, let me just write it properly, r squared minus 10 squared. Then we have r minus 5. So we can write it as r plus 10, r minus 10, r minus 5. This is it. So these are the solutions for these both. They're all pretty straightforward. After you understand one problem, then just start solving more by yourself for better understanding. Now here also, see, 7 is a prime number. There's no way you can take that out. I mean, yeah, you can if you have multiples of 7. Sorry, you can take it out if you have multiples of 7, but you have 3 lesser than that, so there's no way it's going to happen. So let's leave that over there. Let's just take t to the power 2 outside. You're remaining with 3t minus 7. Here, let us take minus 1 outside. Why? Because 3t plus 7 is there, but we just need, it's minus 3t plus 7, we just need the opposite signs. So we take minus 1 outside and you're remaining with 3t minus 7. Now it's t squared minus 1, that's one term, and then we have 3t minus 7. Now this is just like writing 1 squared is equal to 1, so it's a squared minus b squared, isn't it? T squared minus 1 squared, 3t minus 7. Now let's split it out. T plus 1, t minus 1, and 3t minus 7. That's it. Here again a simple one, a squared minus 7 squared, that will be a plus 7, a minus 7. You need to write the identity as well depending on the steps. I wouldn't write the identity for this because it's already plenty steps, but over here, yes, it's very important to write the identity. And that's the answers. And the last two problems. It has been a very long question because there were so many questions over here. I just wanted to solve each one of them. So, I mean, if you understand, you can just skip through it. But if you want to go to any particular question, so all are solved, you can go to any one of them. Now here, it's 4 and 9. I'm sure I can't have any common factors. But what can I do is, I can remove m squared. M squared is outside, and then what is remaining? It's 4m plus 9 minus, over here, what is common? It's 9, isn't it? 9 4 times and 9 9 times, yes. So minus 9 is removed outside. It'll be 4m minus plus 9 because minus is outside. And we have m squared minus 9, 4m plus 9. And here we have m squared minus 3 squared and 4m plus 9. Here we get m plus 3, m minus 3, and we have 4m plus 9. That's the final answer. Here we can take x power 2 outside. It will be 3x plus 1, and then minus 25 outside, so you will have 3x plus 1 itself. X squared minus 25 is one factor, and then we have 3x plus 1 as the other factor. This can be written as x squared minus 5 squared, 3x plus 1. Now here, all you need to do is difference of squares. That is x plus 5, x minus 5, and we are having 3x plus 1 already. So that would be the answer over here, and this is the answer over here. So that's finally the end of question 1, and that's the solutions. If you have any doubts, please do post them in the comments. I've tried to solve all the problems only for the written question part. Question 2. This has two different topics. One is with the quadrilaterals and the second one is about trigonometric functions. Now let's begin with the quadrilaterals. Quadrilateral is anything that is having 4 sides. It's an enclosed figure with 4 sides. Quad means 4. This ABCD is a quadrilateral. It's a rhombus. They have also mentioned it's a rhombus. And we need to find whatever they have asked, okay? And some angles are already given. Now, if it's a rhombus, then all the sides are equal. And this over here, the diagonals, right? The diagonal is from one end to the opposite end. When you draw a straight line, that is a diagonal, will make 90 degree when they cross each other. So all these are 90 degrees and all the opposite sides are equal to each other. That's congruent. Now here they have told ABD. Now remember, they will always give you ABD or CBC, something like that. Sorry, CBD or something like that, to specify an angle. You might be wondering, why don't they just give you B is equal to 60 degree? Because whatever is in the middle, that is the angle over here, right? Why don't they give us just B? The reason is B can be this one or this one or this one. There are 3 possibilities, right? So therefore, we need to realize over here, A, where is A? It starts over here, then B is over here, and D means it goes down. So this is the angle only. It's not other sides or not the total angle. Let's look over here. B, D, C. From B to D and from D to C, it will be this angle only. So this is why it's very important. These are the 2 alphabets. Now we know this is 60 degrees. Now what is the opposite side? Now this is alternate opposite angle. See, this is the same side, right? Now this is an angle and this is an angle. One more thing you need to remember here, a rhombus, right? When you see one of the diagonal, it will cut into two equilateral triangles. So this is equal, this is equal, this is equal, equal, right? Now these will be alternate interior angles basically. They are opposite, right? They'll be equal to each other. So that is the thing. Rhombus is a special case. Even these are also equal. This is also 60 here. This is 60. Also, this will be 60. So otherwise, it's alternate interior angle. And now, what about AE? AE is given to be 8. We need to find what? AC, the total length. Now, this diagonals bisect the other diagonals. This is one more important thing. If this is 8, that means the other side is also equal, because the bisection, this segment bisection means it will be bisected equally into two parts. If this is 4, this is also 4. That's how it is. So the first answer was 60, and over here we have, okay, now we forgot to find out AC. This is 8, 8, add them up, it will be 16. So 2 times 8 is 16. And now over here, you might be thinking, what do we write, isn't it? Most probably these are very simple problems. In just 2 sentences, you can get the answer. They'll be maybe a part of a question. You might get A question as this, and B another, and C another, something like that. So if you just know how to solve them directly, it's fine. So now let's look into the next problem. It's again the same figure. It's a rhombus again. And we have AB here. That is 26. And what about BD? BD is this line, sorry. That is about 20. So we need to find AE, this one. Now we can see this is a triangle, right? And we know this is 90 degrees. So this is right angle. So what is that side? It will be the hypotenuse over here. And what else? Now we want to find AE, so I'll put X over there. But what about BE? We know the total length is 20, so half of that will be BE. Always it'll be cut into half, bisected, right? So we know 28, 10, and X. So we can use Pythagoras theorem. As long as this is 90 degree, we can easily use it. So here from Pythagoras theorem, the hypotenuse, that is AB square, will be equal to AE squared plus BE squared. Now let's substitute the values. It's 26 squared, that is equal to AE squared is X squared plus 10 squared. Now let's use a calculator. This is a big number. So yeah, you can directly solve this in the calculator. I'll show you how. It's 26 squared equals, that is alpha and calc, that's equal to, and X is by alpha and this symbol over here, and square it up, plus 10 squared. Here we go. Now don't press equal to, it'll be an error, syntax error. You need to shift, solve, and then press equal to. That will be the final answer. That's the correct answer, 24. So that's how we get it. Or if you want to do the steps, you can just do 26 squared. That is 676 over here, 676 equals X squared plus 100. And take this to the other side, it'll be 576 is equal to X squared, and take the square root, will be 24 equals X. So these are the steps if you want, or this is just substitution. So you can even jump over here. You must get full marks, because as long as you know the formula, the substitution, and then because you're using calculator, you can directly jump to over here. So that would be the answer. And now let's look into the measure of CEB. Where is CEB? It's a 90 degree, right? All these diagonals bisect each other and cut it to 90 degrees. Now CBD, that is over here, CBD is 58 degrees. What is ACB? Where is ACB? This one is not known. ACB. So this is 90 degrees. So all we do is, if we add these three angles, let's take this as X. Let me add it up. 90 plus 58 plus X would be 180 degree, because it's a triangle. Now you can easily solve it up. Take it to the other side. X will be equal to 180 degrees minus 90 minus 58. So 60 would be 30. 32 would be the answer. X is 32. And over here we have AE. let's see, this is given as 3x minus 1, and AC over here, the total length is given as 16. What is x? Now you can do it in two different ways. I know that AE is half of AC because AC is the total length, right? AE will be equal to half of AC. So what is AE? We can just substitute 3x minus 1 is equal to half of AC is 16. Now you just solve it up. 3x minus 1 will be 8 because half of 16 is 8. This goes to the other side. 3s is equal to 9 because minus 1 to the other side will be plus 1. 8 plus 1 is 9. And x is both divided by 3 will give you 3. X is 3. Another way is, see, this is the total length 16, right? So half of it will be 8. You can directly substitute 3x minus 1 is equal to 8 and solve it. Or you can write over here a is equal to 8 and then start solving it from here. The answer will be the same anyways. So the answer is 32 over here, and we got x as 3 value. And over here we have few more problems. Measure of this M angle means measure of the angle CDB is 6y degrees. CDB, this angle is 6y. Measure of ACB, whereas ACB is 2y plus 10. And we need to find the value of phi. So now how would we do this? Now from here, 6y, how can we get any information over there, right? But there is one important thing which you must remember. This angle is being bisected and these both are equal, isn't it? So this is also 2y plus 10. So this angle is 2y, this is the 6y, and this is 90 degrees. Now we just add them all up. So 6y plus, see now, though ACB is this angle, ACB and ACD are equal to each other, congruent. So therefore, we can just add them all up. Plus 90 degree will be equal to 180. Now you can just put this entirely in the calculator and solve as well. But I'll just solve over here in detail. 6 plus 2y is 8y. 90 plus 10 is 100. So I'll just take 180 minus 100 to the other side. And over here we have 80 and 8y. Y will be divided by 8 both the sides. It's 10. Now what about this? AD is over here. I'll just change the color. AD is 2x plus 4. And what about CD? This one over here. CD is 4x minus 4. What is the value of x? Now here, this diagonals, right? Break these into equilateral triangle, isosceles triangle. I'm so sorry, isosceles. The base angles are equal, and these two sides are also equal. Now even these, they are congruent. They are similar triangles, by the way. So now here, if these two sides are equal, then these two are also equal. So you can directly equate them both. So how we do it is, just 2x plus 4 will be equal to 4x minus 4, and just solve it up. This to the other side will be plus 4, okay? Plus 4 again. We have 1 4 already, and this minus 4 to the other side will be plus 4. Because 4x is bigger, that doesn't change its side. Only the 2x, which is smaller, moves to the other side. And we have 8 is equal to 4x minus 2x will be 2x. 4 is equal to x. This is 4. Okay? That's the answer. Now here we got 10, and over here we got 4. What next? Over here they have given us a square. Now it's not a rhombus. Now you might be thinking, what is rhombi or rhombus? Rhombi is the plural form. Many rhombus are rhombi. If there is more than one rhombus, singular is rhombus. More than one is rhombi. So that's just plural form. Now PQRS is a square. If PR, that is over here this side, this is given as 42. What is TR? What is TR? This one. Now that's just half of it, right? It's pretty simple. Just divide this by 2, that will be it. PR is equal to half of TR. Sorry. TR is equal to, this is half of the total one. Or PR is equal to 2 times TR. That's it. So it'll be 21. That's the answer. And now here we have another, again the same value. and they have given us km. Okay, km is this. Okay, is 26.5. What is kh? Now this is just times 2, so it'll be 50. 52 plus 1 is 53. That is it. Just multiply this by 2, you'll get the total, and this is all pretty straightforward. Now, oh sorry, 26, 26, 25. Yeah, I think so. It's 53 here. This is wrong. I'll just show you in calculator as well. All you do is 26.5 multiplied by 2. The answer is 53. Here there is an error. I'm sorry for that. This is supposed to be 53 here. Now we move on to the problems with two-column proof. Especially this one is a little bit tricky. Uh, we have to prove a lot of things in this. Now, when we start solving this, whenever it's two-column proof or any problem, whenever they ask you to prove it, let's always do a two-column proof, okay? So that is a very... Now we will move on to two-column proof problems. We have to prove them. These are proving problems. We have to make two columns. Let me just draw them straight over here and something like this. One will be over here statement, and then over here we will write the reason. Okay. Now, if they ask you just to prove, always try to make this two-column statement and reason and then prove this, whatever they ask. There is always a trick. Whatever is given to you will be the first statement and the reason is just given. Whatever is given, you write it blindly over here. A, C, D, H and B, C, D, F, okay, are parallelograms. So what I'll do is I'll just draw parallelogram like this for short form because many times you have to use that term. Okay, that is parallelogram. But you guys in your exam, just do it properly. Okay, write it properly. Parallelograms. And they have told BF, line segment BF is congruent to AB. This is another thing. What is the reason? It's just given to you. And always the last one will be ABFH, that is a rhombus. That will be the last statement. So if you can't write anything, at least write the first thing and the last thing. You will at least get a couple of marks over there. So now let's understand what is given. ACDH, that's the entire quadrilateral. And the right side, this one, this quadrilateral BCDF, they both are parallelograms. That means all these opposite sides are equal to each other and parallel to each other. And over here also, they both are equal and parallel, even these two. So now what next? BF, this line, right? BF is this line. So this one is equal to AB, okay? And we have to prove ABFH is rhombus. See, whenever they told this rhombus, I can easily remember one statement. If you have two consecutive sides of a parallelogram equal to each other, two consecutive means this and this next to it, or this and this, or this and this downwards. If they're consecutive means continuous sides are equal to each other or congruent to each other, then it is a rhombus. But so now we need to prove this is a parallelogram, ABFH, right? We have to prove it to be a parallelogram. Let's do it now. What can we prove? We have to prove these two sides are equal to each other and these two, AB and HF. So I will just write over here, we need AH equal to BF, okay? Congruent like this, two lines and then upside, okay? That's congruency over here, that's the symbol. And we also have to have AB is congruent to HF. So these are the two things, these line segments. That is what we are looking for. Then it's a parallelogram, then we can easily prove it. It is a rhombus. Now we will start with the side. See, the entire thing, we know AH. See, I'm not going to write two steps. See, generally what they write is AH as a segment is congruent to, CD, and then we also write AH is equal to CD. What this means is this is a line segment and this is, you can input the values or you can use the substitution. I'll just directly write it, please understand. I'm not going to write it two times. Whenever you write line segment, we use this symbol. It's congruent. You don't write equal. When it's not a line segment, we use equal to, okay? Now it's just understood here. I'm sure even if you write like this, the teacher will give you full marks because it's understandable. Now AH is equal to CD. And what else? This BF is equal to CD. Why? Because it's a parallelogram. Parallelogram properties. You can just you can write your own reasons. I'm writing my own properties. Okay, next. Here CD and CD both are there. So from transitive property we can write AH is equal to BF. Why? Transitive property. Transitive property. If there are C, A is equal to B and B is equal to C, so A and C must be equal, right? If this is phi, this is also phi, phi, and phi. Transitive property. Okay. And what next? Let's also do this one. BC and FD, right? See over here, this AC and H, like we did this vertical sides. Now let's do the horizontal. It's not slanted, slant sides, horizontally slanted one. So over here we have AB, not AB, sorry, AB is not given. It's AC is equal to HD and BC is equal to FD. Now it's same thing. This is over here, okay? And then we can write what? Okay, let's not write anything because we don't have any comparison to make as of now, but we have just written what is there. From the given, we are just making some statement. Now, all this, whatever you can see, just write over here, write some lines, because sometimes students get confused. If you write something like this, you will get at least plenty of marks. So now our goal is to get this one. This is already done over here. Very good. That is done. Okay. Now you can write over here below like this, but just leave it like that. It's fine. Now we know these two sides are done. But how can we prove AB and HF? So we need to write AB somewhere. How can we write AB? We know total AC, right? AC is equal to AB plus BC, isn't it? Segment additions. So I'll write AC will be equal to AB plus BC, and what is this? Here HD will be equal to HF plus FD. Why? Because this is segment additions. Segment addition. And then what else? If I know AC and HD, see, no, now we know AC and HD are equal. So can I write AB plus BC is equal to HF plus FD? That's it. And why do I do this? It's by substitution. Substitution. Okay. So what next? Now this is done. We need only AB and HF. I need to cancel BC and FD. But I know over here BC and FD are equal, right? So what I can do is, again, substitution over here. AB plus BC, let us keep it like that. But HF plus, I'll write BC itself. I'm substituting this value. So this cancels off. From here I can tell AB is equal to HF, isn't it? So this is the second thing proven. So this is just by, solving over here. And now these two are done. So what can I tell? ABFH is a parallelogram. ABFH is a parallelogram. Parallel. Okay, you can just write. Sorry for my spellings. It's already written in the question. You can copy it from the question itself. And then over here, why? Because opposite sides are equal to each other. Opposite sides are congruent. That is like this. Okay, now here you can just write this as line segment. That is also fine. Okay, you get the gist of it, right? This, when you write the line segment, they are congruent. If you're just writing this, you'd write equal to. Now, if this is the case, then we know there is a rule when two consecutive sides, AB and BF, are equal, right? When two consecutive sides, you should write TWO. Don't write any numbers. When you're writing in words, you just write with words everything. I'll just remove that. So here, two consecutive sides of a parallelogram makes rhombus. Parallelogram is a rhombus, okay? Is a rhombus. That is proven. Now, what is it? The same thing. A, B, F, H is a rhombus. That's it. Because these two are given. So the given will be such that you can easily prove it. Obviously, all the problems can be proven. They'll give you required information, and then whatever provable is possible. Now here, this is the information what we have to solve. We have to do AH equal to BF, that is done, and then we have to do AB and HF, that is also done. These are the only two things, main things, and then parallelogram and rhombus. I hope this is clear. Let me just see the, I think so. The solution set is too big. I mean, oh yeah, it's the same thing. You know, they have written a few extra things. You don't write all this. I mean, you don't need this in detail. As long as you write few words, you know, whatever I've written is more than enough. You can just look at this. You can pause the video now and write it out if you want. Let's go to the next problem. It's another proving problem. Here they have told this is a parallelogram. QRST, it looks like a square, and they have given us TR, the line segment TR, and QS are congruent to each other. Okay, the diagonals are congruent, that's very important. And QPR, okay, this one, they have told also QPR is also what? 90 degrees, and we have to just prove it to be a square. So in order to prove this is a square, we need to first try and prove rhombus or rectangle, you know, because it's a parallelogram. Okay, we'll just start now. Now here what we will do, statement, reason. This is very important. Now reason. Now here, first of all, they have given, right? You need to write the given, this things as it is, and write given. Okay, this one over here, that's the first thing you need to do. Next one, here, since the diagonals, what do they tell about the diagonals? Diagonals are congruent, right? If the diagonals are congruent, what it is? It should be a rectangle. It's either a rectangle, square, or rhombus. But we can't prove it's a square or rhombus, but it's definitely a rectangle because that's the rule. If, now I'll just write over here, QRST is rectangle. Rectangle, because you don't need to write because, okay, but I just wrote it anyways. You don't need to write this because the diagonals, are congruent, are if a diagonals of the parallelogram, now this is already told it's a parallelogram. Now diagonals, here you should write diagonals of parallelogram, okay, parallelogram are congruent to each other, congruent. Okay, now if you want to write it in short, you can just write congruent as the symbol, or congruent, that's enough. And then what next can we write? Now next one over here, they have told us, see, they have told this QPR, right? This is 90 degree. So what does this mean? If this is 90 degree, all are 90 degree. That means they are perpendicular to each other. The diagonals are perpendicular. So now I'll write over here the diagonal QS is perpendicular. Now I'll write line segment is perpendicular to RT. Now the diagonals are perpendicular. It's basically perpendicular. They have told it's a right angle. Okay, you can write various things. I'll tell over here it's because they're perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines. And then what else can we write? Now here, if the diagonals are all, this is inside over here, are perpendicular each other, that means they're 90 degrees, then this is a rhombus. QRST, that's the property of a rhombus, is a rhombus. Okay, because the diagonals are perpendicular. This is the symbol of perpendicular. Okay, diagonals of parallelogram, if they are perpendicular to each other, you should write this. So your diagonals of parallelogram are perpendicular, therefore it's a rhombus. So these are the properties, the theorems, the theorems which have gone through in the lesson. These are being used now. And now what next? Now if any object, if any parallelogram is a rectangle and a rhombus, then it's directly a square, because rhombus already proves that all sides are equal. Rectangle will prove that it's all 90 degrees. So that means it's a square. QRST is a square. Done. Is a square, because over here, if a if quadrilateral is a rectangle and a rhombus, then it is you can just write no need of writing if, because if means you have to tell it is a square. If quadrilateral is a rectangle and rhombus here, therefore it is a square. That's it. This is a simpler one compared to the last one, but still you need to know the theorems, the rules of all these quadrilaterals. Then you can easily solve it up. So yeah, even over here it's simple. I think so they have written one or two extra, but still it's fine. But you don't need to write in detail, but as long as you convey the important information, that is more than enough. You can just copy this down. Yeah, this is very important. The first statement will always be whatever is given to you in the question, and the reason is given. So we'll move to the next one, another proving problem here. Now WZ, XY, okay, this seems to be simple because they have told all these are parallel. And what did they give? Wx is congruent to xy. Okay, these two lines, consecutive sign. Okay, whenever they tell you there are two consecutive sides are equal, then it mostly goes towards what? It's a rhombus. Okay, we can easily prove this rhombus. Now all we need to know is this is a parallelogram. If this is a parallelogram, there are two consecutive sides equal, directly it's a rhombus. That's the property. Now statement, reason. Okay, SR. Now here what all we know, WZ, okay, this one, WZ is parallel to, that's all given, XY, comma, WX parallel to XY, sorry, ZY, and WX is congruent to XY. This is given. That's the first statement. The next one, look, the opposite sides are all parallel. They've already told WZ, this one is parallel to XY, and WX is parallel to ZY. If the opposite sides are parallel to each other, then it's a parallelogram. So WXZY or YZ is parallelogram. Over here, opposite sides are parallel. Okay. That's the reason. Parallel, that's it. This is not there. And then if this is a parallelogram, then we know these two consecutive sides, this one and this one over here, are equal. So WXYZ is rhombus. It's a single one. So is rhombus. Why? Because consecutive, two consecutive, okay, it should be TWO, two consecutive sides of parallelogram. Okay, it's parallelogram. I'll just do the shape. Parallelogram are congruent or equal to each other. That's it. So this is two consecutive sides of parallelogram. See, parallelogram are congruent or equal to each other. So hence proven. That's it. So given only two statements we have to write. Only one statement. That's it. And directly we have to prove it. Yeah, this is so easy. You can see over here. This is a theorem which we have studied before. That is what we are using over here. Now over here there's another one. I think so. This is the last one. Yes, it's the last one, I believe. I hope so. Now JKQP is a square. Okay, this is a square already told. ML is bisecting JP and QKQ. Okay, we know JKLM. Okay, the above one is also part. We have to prove, sorry. We know only this is a square, but we don't know whether the above figure is a square or no. Only the entire figure is a square. We have to prove this above thing is a parallelogram. Now, how would we do this? Again, same thing. Statement, reason. Let's write it out. Statements, reasons. First thing will be given, this entire thing over here. That's given. And then let us see what we can use. See, we need to just prove this to be parallelogram. Now, in this case, this is already okay. If we know this will be parallel, this is already parallel to each other. Why? Because we know it's a square. Now we have to just prove this to be congruent to each other. Why? Because here, yeah, this is a square, but the midline bisection, we don't have much information about the middle lines. So we can, they have told over here ML is bisecting, so I can easily find these both and I can prove this. So I'll just focus on the ends or the sides. Okay, now what we will do over here is, first thing, JP is congruent to KQ. Why? Because opposite sides of square, opposite sides of square, you can don't need to write opposite sides. Sides of square are congruent because they have told square all sides are basically congruent. Okay. Now what next? I know this is bisecting. See, this ML line is bisecting JP and this KQ. So I can write JM is equal to MP and KL is equal to LQ. ML is bisector. Is bisector. Or you can write, definition of bisecting, segment bisection or something like that. ML is bisecting, right? That's fine. Now over here, what I can write is, what is JP exactly? JP is equal to JM plus MP. JM plus MP. And over here, KQ is KL plus LQ. Now this is by segment addition, segment postulate, segment additions. Okay, this much is done. What next? We can tell, now we can say, instead of JM and MP, okay, let's substitute this over here, JM and MP over here, okay? Sorry, what I'm trying to say is, JP is equal to KQ, right? Let's just substitute these two over here in the first thing. So it's JM plus MP. It's like the first problem which we proved, right? It's similar to it. Is equal to KL plus LQ. It's easy to get confused, at times even I get confused over here. It's just substitution over here, substitution. And then now, we know JM and MP are equal to each other. So MP is basically JM itself. We can write, instead of JM and MP, 2 times JM. Why am I writing the above JM? Because we have to solve only parallelogram that is JKLM. So above sides, JM is important. And here KL is important. So I write 2 times KL. So 2 cancels off. JM is equal to KL. This is by solving over here, substitution, solving. Okay, so now this is done. Now we have to write one statement here. JM is parallel to KL. Why? Because opposite sides of a parallelogram or a square, it's square, they're parallel to each other. It's like parallelogram. Square is a parallelogram basically. Square means parallelogram, so it's understood. And now over here, if JP and KQ, I'm not writing all the details. If JP and KQ are parallel to each other, obviously JM and KL also must be parallel. So I've directly, reasoned it and I've written it over here. Now JM and KL are equal and they are also parallel. So JM KL, JML. You can't write JMKL. You would write JKLM or JMLK. Over here they have asked JKLM, so I'll write JKLM is a parallelogram. Just the question over here. In the question they have to. Okay, parallelogram. Why? The property of a parallelogram. If a pair of opposite sides. It must be opposite. Okay, this or this, JK or ML or JM or KL. Opposite sides are congruent. We did congruency, congruent and parallel. So that would be the answer. So this is also a bit lengthy. Now, anyways, it's done, proven. Let's look over here. Okay, they have used plenty of statements. I mean, see, you can do a lot of statements, or you can even reduce it. I hope this is more than enough for you guys. As long if you have written this, I'm 100% sure almost all your teachers will give you full marks, because you have understood the concept, you have written whatever it is required, and then you have solved it. So that's it. So that's the thing. And we will now move on to the next one. So we are finally done with the proving, I believe. So let's look into these problems. BCDF is a square. Okay, this given one is a square. FD, where is FD? This is 55. Find each measure. What is BC? It's also 55. What is CD? CD is also 55. Okay, they're all 55 then. So this is congruent, equal to each other. What about GD? Okay, now this becomes interesting. GD over here. Now we know this one, BD will be BD will be 2 times GD, or if you find BD, we can easily find GD. We know all the sides are 55. This is 55. This is also 55. So how can we find this? By Pythagoras theorem, it's 90 degree, right? This is a square. All sides are 90 degree. So from Pythagoras theorem, what can I find? I can easily find that BD squared will be equal to BC squared plus CD squared. Now BD squared is unknown, so I'll take it as X. Okay, X squared is equal to 55 squared plus 55 squared, or I can find X is equal to square root of 55 squared plus 55 squared. This is basically 2 times. Anyways, we'll directly put in the calculator and solve. Here you need to just put the square root. 55 squared, you can times it by 2 because it's the same number. It is 77.76. But this is not the answer. You need to divide this. Now let me just write it over here. X is 55 root 2. But now when you divide this, it will be 27.5, I believe. Divided by 2. That's it, 38. Now, what I was saying, 25, that's 55 divided by 2 will be answer. And you can write it in terms of root 2. But over here, let's write decimal. And they have told round it off to the nearest tenth. I will come to that in a minute. So here GD will be equal to half of BD. So GD is equal to half of, you don't need to write it, I'll directly write it over here because we already solved it. It's 38 point. Now nearest tenth, 10 means there is 1 0 in 10, right? So after the decimal point, you must see how many zeros. One only digit. 8, 9 will become 9. This is the answer. It's 38.9. That's the correct answer here. I hope this is clear. 38.9 is correct. So that's how we do it. First we find BD and then we solve it up. Okay, we need to find BD. We just now did it, right? So we are, using the Pythagoras theorem. So that's it. Then half of that will be GD. What about ZX? Where is ZX? Oh, now it's a different square. WT is given. See, this one is given to be 3. Okay. WT. ZX is over here. This is the total length. Okay. This one we need to find. Let's do this first. So here now, this is a square. If this is 3, obviously this is 3, and the diagonals are congruent to each other. These both are equal. So ZX will be 6. Why? Because this one side, one of the part is 3. So all the sides will be equal. It's 3 and 3. ZX would be the sum of XT and ZT. So that's it. Its answer is 6. Now what about XY? Where is X and Y? This is the thing. Now we use Pythagoras theorem over here because this parallelogram, I mean the diagonals bisect at 90 degree. We know that's even for rhombus and for square. So To find xy, you just have to use Pythagoras theorem. So xy, its opposite hypotenuse, square will be equal to 3 squared plus 3 squared. So it will be xy is equal to square root of 3 squared plus 3 squared. It will be, root 2 and 3. It will be 3 root 2, but you can just put in the calculator and find what is the exact measure. Square root 3 squared plus 3 squared. That's it. And the answer will be SD 4.24. Now, since they have not told us to round it off, find each measure, you can just write 4.2 or you can write 4.24. They have not mentioned how much decimal points. Okay, they have just considered it to be 3 root 2. That's it. From Pythagoras theorem, that's very important. And here, a few more problems. Now we are finding the measure. Now, what is the measure of WTZ? WT and Z over here, this one. It's 90 degree. Done. WYX. Where is WYX? Now, this one over here. So, what we do is, okay, these diagonals, right, bisect this. So, this is 90 degree. Half of 90 degree is what we should find. WYX, isn't it? This is 90, so since this diagonal is bisecting, it will be half of 90, that is 45 degrees only. So the answer is 45. Over here it's 90, over here it's 45. And now we move on to the trigonometric topics, Now we have to use calculator to find the measure of B. So before we move on over here, I'll just write the formulas of trig functions. You can easily remember this by SOH, TOI. It's SOH, Ka is CAH, Toa is TOA. Now it's up to you. You can use other acronyms as well. Or you can just remember sine has to do with sine theta is has to do with opposite by hypotenuse. Whereas cosine theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. And lastly, tan theta is opposite by adjacent. So these are the three formulas, very important. Now here you need to see what you need to find. I need to find the measure of B, isn't it? The angle, measure of angle B. So now this one will become theta. That means unknown angle. Theta is one of the letter in the Greek alphabets. So now here we have theta B. I mean B as theta. What are known? This is 90 degree. This is hypotenuse. We don't have that. Leave that. What is opposite to theta? This one over here. We have opposite. And what next? This is adjacent. So adjacent, sorry. Which is giving you adjacent and opposite. This as hypotenuse we can't use this one only. So we use tan theta value, tan theta formula. So we write tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent, and then we will just substitute over here. So what is tan theta? You can write tan B or anything. Anyways, I'll just keep it as tan theta is equal to opposite is 14 divided by 8. Now use a calculator and to the nearest 10, that means we have to take tan to the other side. It will be theta is equal to tan inverse 14 divided by 8. Now you just put it in the calculator and you get the answer. To get tan inverse, you need to see, if you click on tan, it's just tan. Press shift and then tan, you get tan inverse. 14 divided by 8, close the bracket. The answer is 60.25, but you need to the nearest 10th. 10 means only one digit after the decimal point. So theta is equal to 60. Now phi is there, that means this value number changes. From 2 it will become 3. It is 60.3 degrees. So measure of angle B is equal to 60.3 degrees. That's the answer. So here 60.3 is the correct answer. Now we have another problem. So I'm just going to erase this over here. Let the formulas all be there. And let's see what is given to us. Here they have told to find measure of B itself. Again, it's same theta. Now the opposite side is unknown. We know the hypotenuse, opposite to 90 degrees hypotenuse. This is known. And we know this is opposite but not given. Adjacent is given. Which formula now? So the formula over here will be whichever is having hypotenuse and adjacent. That is cosine. Cosine theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse. You need to write this formula first. Now we'll write cosine theta is equal to, substitute, adjacent is 25 divided by 30. So don't write cosine again. Let's just write theta is equal to cosine inverse of 25 divided by 30. Okay. So here it was, yeah, this is it. Just put it in the calculator and you'll get the answer. Here, to get cosine inverse, you have to press shift and cos. That'll be cosine inverse. Sorry. 25 divided by 30. Just close a bracket here. And then the answer is 33.55. Nearest strength would be 33.6. So you can see its answer is 33.6. Now I'll quickly solve them up. Let me remove all the formulas. Now you need to remember it by yourself. Please do try to solve them all by yourselves, but I'll solve these anyways. So measure of B, this is the B angle, that is theta. Opposite side is unknown. The hypotenuse is known. And adjacent is known. So again, hypotenuse and adjacent is only given by cosine theta. That is adjacent by hypotenuse. So I'll substitute. Cosine theta is equal to 7 divided by 39. You have to just take the inverse. So it's theta is equal to cosine inverse of 7 by 39. You put it in the calculator and get the answer. Here it's already cosine. I'll just change this to 39 and over here to 7. And the answer would be, after rounding off to 10th, it'll be 79.7. So you can see here 79.7. So this is important. Look into the question, how much you have to round off, and then, write the final answer. Let's do this one over here. They have asked to find the measure of t. So this is opposite. And after this, we have, this is hypotenuse, which is not given. And over here, we have adjacent. So now what we do is we need to remember which formula gives you opposite and adjacent. If there is no hypotenuse, then it's only tan theta. So tan theta is equal to opposite by adjacent. And over here, opposite is 14 root 3 divided by 34. That is tan theta. Theta will be equal to tan inverse of 14 root 3 by 34. And that will be the answer. So shift and tan gives you tan inverse 14 square root 3 divided by 34 and close the bracket. 35.49, which will make it 35.5. And again over here, let's quickly do this. Measure of angle T, theta, opposite is known, and this is hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse is given by sine theta, that is opposite by hypotenuse. Now theta will be equal to sine inverse, I'm directly writing it, of opposite by hypotenuse. Let me substitute the values. Theta is sine inverse of, opposite is 7 divided by 18. That's it. You just put it in the calculator and round it off to the nearest tenth. That'll be sine inverse of 7 divided by 18. And let me close the bracket over here. 22.9 would be the final answer. Why? Because we had a round off 9. So you can write theta is equal to 22.9 and then measure of angle T is 22.9 degrees. Don't forget the symbol degrees. Here as well, let's do it. T is 30, opposite is unknown, hypotenuse is known, and this is adjacent, that is also known. So hypotenuse and adjacent is given by cosine theta. Whenever your hypotenuse, it's either sine or tan. If it's adjacent, it's sine or cosine. If there is no hypotenuse, then it has to be tan. Now here, cosine theta is adjacent by, here we have hypotenuse. So theta will be equal to cos inverse of, adjacent is given as 34 by 87. Now another thing, if you have written these wrong, you will understand hypotenuse no matter what will be the biggest side. Okay, it has to be the biggest side. So here there is, okay, you understood this is opposite for theta. Now here you have these two sides. This has to be hypotenuse, which is opposite to 90 degree or the biggest side. So now we'll just substitute over here cosine inverse of 34 divided by 87. And you need to close the bracket properly over here, and the answer is 66.99. Now nearest tenth. Now what happens over here is it'll be a number more. So this number more 9 means this will change again over here. It'll be 67.0 degrees because I've clearly told it's the 10th. So it's 67.0 degrees. Why? Because it's 9. Now this 9 makes this to a bigger number, that will be 0, and over here you need to increase it by 1, 67 degrees. So that's the answer. And now over here they have told us to solve all the round the sides. Okay, everything. We need to solve each right triangle. That means you need to solve all the angles and the sides. Now the angles are pretty simple. If this is 90, this is 32, and over here that'll be 50, 60, yeah, 58. This will be 58 degrees. And now what about the sides? Let's first write each and every side. This is known, but what is it? Now here, before we start, it's up to you to choose which angle you want to solve. I personally choose only one angle. Whatever is given, right, I'll just consider that to be theta. That's it. I'm just going to choose this theta, and I'll just change the formulas according to it. So this is my opposite side. Opposite will be 11, and opposite to 90 degrees is the hypotenuse, that is not known, and the remaining one is adjacent. What I will do is I'll take this hypotenuse as x and adjacent as y. We can't solve hypotenuse and adjacent together because both are unknown. So from the formula, we will choose theta, whichever is having opposite and hypotenuse, and another one with opposite and adjacent. I'll write it out over here. First, I will write sine theta. That is equal to what? It will have opposite divided by hypotenuse. And what is the other thing which is having opposite? That is tan theta. That is having opposite by adjacent. Now, why I don't take cosine theta? Because I don't know hypotenuse and I don't know adjacent. Cosine theta is adjacent by hypotenuse. These both are unknown. So this is the thing. So I will just stick to one angle. My theta is only 32 degrees. I'm not going to change that. So the opposite sign is not going to change. It's going to be only this side, 11 itself, and hypotenuse will be x and adjacent will be y. Now I can solve them up. Why? Because I know sine theta is 32 degrees. What is this opposite side? 11 divided by hypotenuse is unknown, that is x. And here I have tan 32 degrees. That is equal to opposite is 11 and adjacent is y. Now I can just substitute these entirely in the calculator and get the answer as well. And I'll show you the steps as well. Both the ways I'll show you here. First thing is you can just write sine, not inverse, sine 32. Okay, equals is by alpha and calc and divided by 11 over here. 11 divided by x, that is alpha x. Shift and solve and then press equal to. This is your answer, the first one. You can see over here it'll be one of the side. You can see one of the side is 20.8 GH. Yes, x is GH, isn't it? That's 20.8 because nearest tenth we are rounding it off to. And the other one, you can just do the same thing with tan. Tan 32 equals 11 divided by y. That is again over here you should take it as alpha x and shift and solve, and the answer is 17.6. and yes, we have 17.6. Those are the two answers. But if you want to do the steps, here we got y is 17.6 and over here we got x is equal to, I think so, I just forgot anyways. Let's take x to the other side. That is equal to now 11 and take this sign over here, sine 32. This is it. And over here y to the other side, and it'll be 11 divided by tan 32. Even if you type these in the calculator, you get the answer. I'll show you over here, but don't put x because there's no point, because everything is at one side of inequality, right? 11 divided by sine 32, that is at 20.75. I mean 20.8 would be the answer. So 20.8, that is GH over here, and this one was HF. So you have found all the sides. Already one side was known and all the angles. So we have solved the entire right triangle. And over here as well, you can just change this to tan, and here we go. That's the answer. So this is how we solve all the sides. Okay, you don't need to. Now over here they have found one side and used Pythagoras theorem. Why would you do that? Because you're using trigonometry anyways. Just use trigonometry, it'll be much easier. What I've done over here would be much easier, and this is absolutely correct. You will get full marks for this as well. So try to go with this method, which is much easier. Let's do the other problems. I'll quickly solve all of these problems. Here it's 90, 57, and then it'll be 33 degrees. And what about the other sides? Now, I will choose 57. What I choose is whatever is given, I choose that as theta. Opposite side, hypotenuse, and adjacent. Now, I have hypotenuse. That means I have to use sine theta equals opposite by hypotenuse, and cosine theta, that is adjacent by hypotenuse. These are the two sides. These are the two formulas which I have used. And then over here, what I need to do is substitute. Sine theta is 57 degrees, and then we have opposite to be unknown. I'll just write opposite side itself, okay? Hypotenuse is 18, and over here cosine 57 degrees, adjacent is unknown, and over here we have hypotenuse to be 18. So now 18 to the other side will be 18 times sine 57 degrees. That is equal to opposite side, that is wx. And over here cosine 57 degrees multiplied by 18, that is equal to adjacent. Adjacent is xz. So now all you do is put it in the calculator and get the answers. Here it's 18 times sine 57 degrees, close the bracket. The answer is 15.1. Nearest tenth, it will be 15.1. And over here, all you do is just change this to cosine, and it's 9.8. Even you can put this second just after substituting in the formula, you can put it in the calculator and you will get it. So this is the answer. It's 15.1, 9.8. That's it. And the other one was 33 degrees. Let me solve this as well. Here, 8 is, okay, there are two sides known and none of the angles known. So now here you have to be a little bit careful. So there's none of the angles known. Let's see which side do you want to solve first. You just choose J and K. I'll just go with J. Okay. So this is, I'll consider to be theta. The opposite to 90 degrees hypotenuse. And then this is the opposite side. And over here, what is this? JL is adjacent. You can either solve this degree first and then solve the other side, or there are other ways. You can consider this to be theta and then change the theta. I won't suggest you to change the theta, because if you make this theta, then this is the opposite and adjacent. Students sometimes don't change that. So now I will just go to this one single method. I'm not going to teach other methods. I find this is to be easiest among all. See what are knowns. Opposite side is unknown. We don't know theta, but we can solve from hypotenuse and adjacent. So if you have cosine theta, you know what? This is adjacent and divided by hypotenuse. And over here we don't know cos theta. That's fine, but we know adjacent side is 8 divided by 22. We had solved similar problems, isn't it? So theta will be cos inverse of 8 by 22. You just put this in the calculator and find the theta. Here it's cos inverse of 8 divided by 22. And the answer would be 68 point, nearest tenth would be 68.7. Theta is 68.7 degrees. 68.7. Now we know this is 68.7. Now, instead of finding the other thing, I'll find the opposite side. Now I'll change the formula from cosine theta to sine theta. Why? Because over here now I can find opposite by hypotenuse, right? Sine theta, or you can use tan theta as well. It's up to you. I'll just use sine theta, and now here sine theta is 68.7 degrees. And what is the opposite side? Opposite side is unknown. That is what we need to find, L and K, and divided by hypotenuse is 22. So now 22 to the other side will be 22 times sine 68.7 degrees. That is equal to LK or KL. Just use your calculator over here. 22 times sine 68.7, close the bracket, that is equal to 20.499, makes this to 5. The answer is LK is equal to 20.5 units. Now we have not done all. We already have this adjacent and hypotenuse, so we found the opposite, that is 20.5. Now one angle is remaining. How do you find the angle? We know all the angles of a triangle are 180 degrees, so 180 minus 90, that is the right angle, minus 68.7, that will give you the other angle, that is 21.3. So this is 21.3 degrees. So this is how we solve each part of the right angle triangle. So you can see LK is 20.5. Now this one over here is 69. Really, we have to round it off to the nearest tenth. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't read the question. Look here. Guys, round the side measures to the nearest tenth. That means all the sides we do it to nearest tenth. And the angle measures to the nearest degree. This means we have to take the entire degree. Theta is how much? 69. Make it to the next degree. Now here, theta is 21 degrees. Because it's 3, it's less than 5. So we keep it as 21 degrees. Very important thing which I just didn't realize it until now. In the question it was mentioned. So please make sure you do that accurately. And here as well, it's a similar problem. Oh no, here it's very easy because the angle is given 32 degrees. This is 90, so this one will be 58 degrees. 7. Now I'll consider this to be theta, opposite, hypotenuse, and this is adjacent. So we know the hypotenuse, sorry, we know the hypotenuse, that's 7. So I will use hypotenuse formulas, that is cosine theta is equal to adjacent by hypotenuse, and sine theta is equal to opposite by hypotenuse. Now here cosine theta is 32 degrees and adjacent is unknown, but that is what we are solving. ST, I'll write it as hypotenuse is 7. Now here sine theta is 32 degrees, but the opposite side over here is unknown, that is RT, but we know hypotenuse is 7. So you just take 7 to the other side, 7 times cosine 32 degrees. You don't need to write 32 degrees here when you're substituting to solve it. That is equal to S. And 7 times sine 32 over here would give you RT. So now just use the calculator to solve these. 7 times cosine 32, that is equal to 5.93, but side measures are to be rounded off to the nearest tenth, that is 5.9 itself. Over here it is ST equals 5.9. Whereas what about RT? Just change this sine to cosine to sine, and you will get 3.70. That's just 3.7. So the answer is 3.7. Now you can also directly substitute this substitution in the calculator and get the answers directly. So the answers are 3.7, 5.9, and this was 58 degrees. Last two problems, we'll quickly do them. Over here, we have one angle 90 degrees and the remaining angle will be 65 degrees. So then we have this side. Now I'll take this as theta. That's the 25 degrees. So opposite side is unknown, hypotenuse is known, and adjacent side is unknown. So again, it will be sine theta equals opposite by adjacent. Cosine theta is adjacent by, I have written the sine theta formula wrongly, sorry for that. It's opposite by hypotenuse. This is hypotenuse HYP, adjacent, opposite. Now here sine theta is 25 degrees and opposite is unknown. I'll write it as AC divided by hypotenuse is 12. Cosine 25 degrees, that is equal to adjacent is basically given as not unknown, it's CB or BC divided by 12. Now you take the 12 to the other side, 12 times sine 25 degrees is equal to AC, and over here 12 times cosine 25 degrees will be equal to BC. So here it is 12 times sine 25, that is equal to 5.07, that will be 5.1, and just change this to cosine. This will be equal to 10.9 because 87 makes it 9. So it is 10.9 and 5.1. You can see these are the two answers. And over here it was 65 degrees. Yes, as it is. And the last problem, and it's been a long explanation video. So because all the problems are included, you can just skip whenever you've understood thoroughly. But now we will be solving the last one. This is 45, and over here also it will be 45 degrees. You can just use the normal way, but there is one way you can easily find what is this. This is a isosceles triangle. If the two base angles are equal, then it's isosceles triangle. If this is 18, then this has to be 18. So these two are 18, these two are 45 degrees. And now over here, you can use Pythagoras theorem to solve this, or you can use trigonometry. It's up to you. If you can't remember this, you can just use the trigonometry, just like how we have solved the previous problems. But over here, since the bases are 45, 45, and 90 degree, whenever the two bases are equal, imagine this was 30 and 30, or 60 and 60, anything. So then this makes it isosceles triangle. The legs will be equal. These two sides are equal. If this is 5, this has to be 5. So here, this is what, this is how we can directly find this length to be 18. And then I will use Pythagoras over here to just solve it up. I'll consider this to be x. X squared is equal to 18 squared plus 18 squared. X is equal to square root of 18 squared plus 18 squared, and x is equal to 18 root 2. Or you can just put in the calculator, square root of 18 squared plus 18 squared, and the answer is 25.5. That's the answer. It's 20.5, 25.5. The other one, MQ, was 18, and here we have 45 degrees. So that is finally the end of the question to its long video. I hope all the problems are clear. If you have any other doubts, please post them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you very soon. Before we move on to the next question, a humble request to all of you. If you're finding these videos helpful, please do share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel. There are more than 1,000 videos related to math. Another humble request to all of you, please do subscribe to my channel. I want to thank all those who have subscribed to it. As you can see, only 22.3% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel. It would mean a lot to me if you could just hit the subscribe button. Moving on to the third question, it is about triangle proportionality. We have to find the relationship of triangles when there are medians, bisectors, and other parts of triangle. Here, the starting ones are very easy ones. We need to find the value of the variable, the unknown value, x and m over here. Now you can see this angle and this angle is same. So this is angle bisector. That means these both angles are equal, and we have a formula. If I write this as A, B, C, and D, we can consider AB divided by BC, that is equal to AD divided by CD. Now, you can write it in different ways. This is a correct formula. Also, you might have seen it written as AB by AD equals to BC by CD. I prefer this method because it's easier, and I will tell you both the methods now. When you see that there's an angle bisector, the angles are equal, these two triangles are proportional to each other. You can write this side. Can you see this AB? Divided by the other side, AD, that will be equal to this and this, or this, but that's the same thing, so we use the other side. So this is important. Now, what did I write over here? It's just that if you interchange this, it'll be BC and AD over here. That's also absolutely fine. This is a easier way to understand. This I write it for triangle 1. That's here, and the triangle 2 is over here. Now let me show you. AB, can you see this AB? Divided by other side of the same triangle, BC, will be equal to, which did I choose first? AB. So which is the opposite to it? AD. This is like the proportional to it, right? AD divided by the other side, the base, CD. Any one, whichever you find easy, follow that method. Now I'll substitute. That'll be m divided by 8. That will be equal to 26 by 12. Here you just solve it. Take this 8 to the other side. M equals 26 divided by 12 into 8. You can directly put that in the calculator, but I'm just doing the steps. M will be, put this in the calculator, you'll get the answer. It is 1 time. Over here you'll get 3 times. And sorry, it's 2 times. 4 2 times 8. It'll be 2 times 52 divided by 3. And look over here, it's nearest tenth. That means we have to do it in calculator here. So 52 divided by 3 would be 17.33, but nearest 10 means only one digit after the decimal. 10 is having 1 0, isn't it? So one digit after the decimal point. The answer will be over here, 17.3. That is the M value. Now for the next one, you can use the same formula. I'll directly write the answer here. It'll be 20 divided by 7. That is equal to, you can write it as A, B, C, and D. And then that will be equal to 24 by X. Now X to the other side. That will be equal to, now it's cross multiplying, okay? X moves instead of 20 and 20 takes the place of X. So it'll be 24 by 20 and this 7 to the other side multiplies. It is 5 times 6 times 6 times 7 5 are 42 divided by 5 would be the answer. Here it's the nearest tenth again, so all you need to do is change this. It's divided by 5 and over here it's 42. So the answer is 8.4, exactly 8.4. You can see that X is 8.4 and 17.3. Now similar type, now they have told these both triangles are similar. ABC is similar to DEF. Now we need to find the length of XC. Which is XC? This is it. So how can we solve it? First of all, we know the total length AC as 14. So if we just find the remaining side, we can easily find one of the side. And over here they have told this is 8, this is 12, right? So what we can do is we can use Pythagoras theorem. We have used this before. Pythagoras theorem, 90-degree opposite is hypotenuse. So the square of AB, that is hypotenuse squared, would be the sum of squares of the other two sides. Bx squared plus ax squared. Now it's 12 squared is equal to 8 squared plus ax squared. This is unknown. Now we will solve it up. You can just put in the calculator as well. Now this is 144 minus 8 squared is 64. That is equal to ax squared. Take the square root of this and you will get the answer. It'll be 20. It'll be square root of 80, I believe. That is AC. So let's use the calculator. Why? Because it's nearest tenth. Here we will just type in square root of 144 minus 80, 64, and the answer would be 4 root 5. Or it is 8.94, so it's just 8.9. So that is the answer, 8.9. Okay, now it's not over. That is true, AX is 8.9. But what do we need to solve for? We don't want, this is AX, right? AX, it's not AC, it's AX. What we need is CX or XC, this length. We know this is 8.9. What is the remaining length? 14. I'll write it in terms of alphabets first. AC will be equal to XC plus XA. Now we know AC is 14. That is equal to, what is XC? That is what we are solving for. Plus 8.9. This goes to the other side. 14 minus 8.9 is equal to XC. That will be 5.1. 5.1 will be the answer. 5.1 centimeters because it's in centimeters here. Another very easy problem. And now we need to find EY here. This is the EY. Now, since they have told these both triangles are similar, that means the altitudes are also similar. We can just use the triangle proportionality over here and solve it up. Now, if I choose this side first, let me choose AB divided by the other side, BX. That will be equal to, now which is the, see here, this is the shorter side, shorter triangle. This is the shorter one. This is the longer. So I have to choose the longer one. That is DE divided by EY. Now let me substitute all the values which I know. 12 by 8 will be equal to 8 by EY. That is what we need to solve. So let's take EY instead of 12 and change their places. And this over here. So EY will be equal to 8 times 8 by 12. So it's 3 times over here and 2 times. It's 16 by 3. Now use your calculators and get the answer. Just to show you over here, this directly can be substituted. 12 divided by 8 is equal to 8 divided by alpha x. That is the unknown value. Shift and solve and then press equal to. The answer is 5.33. 3 times 5 is 15 and your 1/3 will remain. So it's 5.33. But nearest tenth would be 5.3. That's the answer. So here we go. And now we are into the proving problems. These are very important ones. Now they have told write paragraph proof, but I would suggest you to go ahead with the statement and reasoning proof itself, which you have done before in the last problem. So please make sure you have understood the previous video thoroughly, because the same thing will be done over here. Statement and reason, this is very important. And then the first statement, no matter what will be given. So here we have to write it as it is. Triangle RTS is congruent, is similar to triangle EGF, and they've also told TA, line TA and GB, line GB are angle bisectors. Angle bisectors. Sectors. Okay. Now, what? Let us first analyze what this is. RTS, this outside triangle, the whole triangle is similar to EGF. Okay, they both are similar. TA and GB are angle bisectors, so this angle is equal to this. So that has been given. So what do we have to find now? TA, where is TA? This angle bisector line divided by GB is equal to RT, one of the sides, and EG. So we are mainly dealing with this, this, and this. Over here also, the left side, okay? Left triangle. I hope that's clear. So we have to focus on this part. Now, how can we prove they are similar? Like, how can we get this proportionality? If at all we knew this is similar to this, if these both triangles are similar, then obviously we can write this similarity statement. But we know the whole triangles are similar. Are they similar? The angles are same. Already they have told this angle is equal to this angle. So we can easily prove this by angle-angle similarity. I'll show you how. Angle T is equal or congruent to angle G. Okay, that's the first thing. Okay, but now the thing is, it's not angle G we are talking about. We have to talk about half of. Okay, let me just write this anyways, because this is why. Sorry guys, I just missed it over here. It is not angle T. We have to talk about which angle? RTA. Why? Because we need half of it, right? Because this is the angle bisector. Let me write it over here. Angle RTA is similar to angle EGB. I hope this is clear. RTA and EGB, they have given. Why? Because this is from the TA and GB are angle bisectors. The reason can be written as the line segment TA and GB are angle bisectors. Angle bisectors. Now then, that is done. Now, is this angle equal to this? Yes, absolutely. Angle R is congruent to angle E. Why? Because we know that RTS triangle is congruent, is similar to EGF triangle. If the triangle is similar, then obviously all the angles are equal, isn't it? So we got two angles over here. Now I can directly tell triangle TRA is similar, this is similar to triangle. So I've used TRA, that means I've used GEB. Okay, it'll be GEB. Why? From AA similarity, angle similarity. So that is done. Now, if these two triangles are similar, I can write this proportionality, isn't it? TA divided by GB, this the other side of the triangle, will be equal to, this proportionality will hold good, RT divided by EG, because triangle RTS is similar to triangle EGF. So therefore we have proved it. We have to write the given. This is reason is given. The first one I've written the given, but I've not written the reason. Next one, because they're angle bisectors, and over here because these two triangles are similar. And then from AA similarity we have proved this one first is similar to the second triangle, and then we can write triangle proportionality. So this is the answer. Now over here they have written differently, but that's whatever I've written is the exact same correct answer. As long as you're proved, you can prove in different ways. I've used one of the method. Now you can see here they have used half. This is basically what you know, because it's an angle bisector. That's why they've used half. It's up to you. I've just written directly, RTA, because it's understood. They've clearly given it in the given. It's given in the question itself. So that's the reason. Now then, moving to the next problem. What do we have to prove here? ABC, this one, is similar to, that's given, sorry, RST. Okay, that's fine. AD is median. Median means these both are equal to each other, okay? And then what else? RU, okay, is the median. Over here they have told us the same thing. And the whole triangles are similar to each other. Then what do we have to prove is AD, this median line, divided by RU will be equal to AB. Okay, we are dealing with this side triangle. See the right one now. Last problem we were the left. We were dealing with the left. Now here with the right. So now looking at this, I know I need to prove this triangle is similar to this triangle, but I know the whole triangles are similar, but that doesn't help us. Now how can we prove that? You already learned that before in the classes and example problems. Yes, they both are similar, but now we are proving it with proof, with reasoning. So here, I know this is similar, equal. So that is good. And what else? This is equal to this. Why? Because, I mean, not equal, they're similar. I can write the similarity statement. AB by CB, but then I know these both are equal, so I can get that done. Oh, and this angle is also equal. Oh, very good. We can easily do this as well. Now I will tell you one by one what is the reason and the statement. So this is the statement and this is the reason. First one, you have to write this entire thing. Please don't forget that. You have to write this, the first thing, that will be the given reason. After that, now I'll directly write the statement we need. We know the two triangles are similar, right? So I'll write a statement that AB divided by CB is equal to RS divided by TS. Why? Because triangle ABC is similar to triangle RST. So all the sides are proportional to each other. Now here we are focusing on CB, that is this, and TS, this one. And we need to change that and get over here rearranged, okay? So now one thing, guys, over here, since it's where is this, what do we need? AB and RS. So what I'll do is I'll not write AB by CB. Instead of AB and CB, I can write AB and RS. Why? Because it will be equal over here, right? It's the same thing. I'm just changing this RS from here to here. That's absolutely fine because all the sides are proportional. I will write AB by RS. This is done. Left side is already there. Only right side we have to rearrange. This is CB by TS. Now what can I do? I know CB will be equal to CD plus DB and TS will be equal to TU plus US. Why is this? This is line segment, line addition, line segment addition, line addition of line segments, line segment addition, you can write. And then over here, I know CD is equal to DB. Why is that? Because they clearly told this AD is a median. Median means it cuts this side into equal parts. And what else? TU is equal to US. So that means Y, AD, and RU are median. So medians will make it into congruent definition of medians basically. So this is a midpoint and it will break into equal parts. And now since CD and DB are equal, now we are focused on DB. Ignore the CD. Over here, I can substitute over here. See this. Where is that? CB is equal to, instead of CD, I'll put DB. So CB will be DB plus DB, isn't it? It'll be 2 times DB, okay? And what about TS? TS will be equal to, what do I need over here? US. So I'll put 2 times US. We know this total length will be equal to 2 times this line segment because they both are equal. And now this is just substitution, okay? And now these both, I will just substitute back in the given, the first statement which we had taken. See, AB by RS is already there. This is there. We have to just prove the right side. Now here, CB and TS, right? So, oh, sorry, we don't need to prove the right side. We're not proving the right side. We are just proving these two sides are similar. We need to just get these both, okay? So over here you have, instead of 2 dB divided by 2 US, and this cancels, 2 and 2 cancels, so you're remaining with AB by RS and DB by US. Again, this is substitution. And then now I can tell B angle and S angle is what? Same. Angle B is equal to angle S. Why is this? Because triangle ABC is similar to triangle RST. It's given, right? When they are similar, all the angles are equal over here. This is angle and this one will be equal to this. Now then, can you see triangle A, B and D, ABD is similar to triangle RSU. RSU. Why is this? Because I got the two sides proportional. See, AB and DB are proportional, right? S and the included angle, the middle angle, SAS postulate or theorem postulate. So from this, I can tell this particular right side triangle, this one is similar to 2, this right side. And now if they are similar, I can write this statement. Why? Because they are telling me about this line AD divided by RU is equal to AB. AB is the right side, AB over here divided by RS. Absolutely. Why? Because I have to write this one over here. The reason is triangle ABD is similar to triangle. Now I've taken ABD RSU. This is it, it's RSU. So this is the reason. Write 1, 2, 3, 4, like few of them. This is the last one. Okay, I didn't have space over here. You have to write it up over here. So continuously, first is given. Then what we told is, we know if the, from, how did we get this as AB divided by, okay, this is from the two outer triangles. We are just writing the similarity statement. And from this we need AB and RS is fine. But CB, we want to write it in terms of DB. And we wrote from CB over here, CB and TS in terms of DB and US. And then we can easily prove side and side are proportional and this angle is equal to this angle. So SAS postulate, we can tell these both triangles are similar to each other, and then we can definitely write this similarity statement. This is the reason. Okay, over here they have done it very shortly. No, they have not completed it. Okay. Oh, this is plenty big. So I think so it's better to follow my method, which I did. As long as you understood what we are finding out, it'll be the same thing. They have also done the same thing, I believe. Yeah, this is the same thing. And they got this. So the last problem, last proving problem, it is another very interesting problem. They have given the figure here and they have told CD is bisecting. See, this is very important. Bisects what? angle ACB, this is equal to this. 1 and 2 are equal. By constructing AE, this is AE, which is parallel to CD. This is parallel to this line. Okay, these both are parallel to each other. Now we need to prove AD. What is AD over here? AD divided by DB. DB is this, okay? AC, okay, this is AC, and BC divided by BC. Where is BC exactly? This is B and C. Okay, this one. So this. Okay, how do we do that? Before that, let's first analyze this triangle. These both are equal. A will be equal to C. That's true. And this is parallel, right? So what about these both? These are from angle bisector. They have told angle by line bisector. The CD is bisector. These are alternate angles, and okay, these are parallel, so this will be corresponding angle. This is also equal. I can see this is equal to this. Now in this triangle extended, if the two bases are equal, then this is isosceles triangle. This side is equal to this side. Oh yeah, we can easily prove it then. Yeah, we can do it. So let's start one by one. What we need is, before that, we need to first realize this triangle like this. I'll draw, see, I'll draw this AE down like this, flat over here. And then I will extend this, and then I'll draw this. Now, E is over here, A is over here, and I'll draw a parallel line because CD is parallel, right? This is parallel, C, D, and this is B. Now, if you see this triangle like this, what do you know? I know I can write the sides as proportionals, isn't it? I can write, because I need AD and DB, right? I'll write AD divided by DB, because this is parallel. If there are two, if there is one triangle and this inside line is a parallel line to the base, then this formula can be written by triangle proportionality theorem. AD divided by BD will be equal to, what is this? EC divided by CB or BC. This can be written. Now look here, everything is almost there. Only the problem is AC and EC. I have to prove EC is equal to AC, and I know from isosceles triangle it can be proven. So now it's very, very simple. This is easily provable, but it's just that we have to write in detail now. Okay, now I'll erase all this. Let me write the statement and reason. Statement, reason. First one is obviously the given one. Just write it over here. The reason is given. Next, what you do is, let me start with the angles. Angle 1 is equal to angle 2y from angle bisector. From angle bisector. Now next one, 1 and 3 are equal. Angle 1 is equal to angle 3. Why is this? From alternate angle. Alternate interior angles. These are interior angle. Now what next? Here 2 and this angle E, okay? Angle E is equal to angle 2y because of corresponding angles. Corresponding, when there are parallel lines, corresponding angles occur. Now this is done. From this we can tell triangle ACE is isosceles. Isosceles. CELES. Now why is this isosceles? Because base angles are congruent. Okay, now what next? After the base angles are congruent, over here, okay, what are we exactly? Yeah, this is done. Now I forgot to write the statement. From triangle proportionality theorem, I can write that because these two are parallel lines, which I told, right? AD and DE, EC and C. So I'll write over here. Oh, okay, this is isosceles triangle. Let me write one more statement before that. So EC, the line segment EC is equal to AC. Triangle ACE is isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. Or you can write converse isosceles triangle theorem. That's also the same thing. Because we know if bases are equal, then the sides are equal, and then that's how it's basically the converse. Now then, it would have been better if I'd written the triangle proportionality at the up, but even if you have understood initially, that's fine. I can write it now down as well. AD divided by DB will be equal to EC divided by BC. This is from triangle proportionality theorem. So then we are remaining with nothing. This is almost done. Now EC is equal to AC, right? So AD divided by DB will be equal to AC divided by BC by substitution. That's it, because I already have proven EC is equal to AC. So substitution is the only thing that's remaining. So that's it. That is how we can easily solve it. I hope this is clear. Let me just look at the answer over here. Yeah, it's almost the same, I guess. Yeah, this is a very easy one. That's why, yeah, it's the same thing. So these are important. It's easy to understand, but you need to write in detail as well, you know. So this is crucial. And I mean, you can skip this first step, you know, A, that is just written, but you can just start with over here, but you need this, right? 2 and E, so yeah, it's better to write all these. So that's how we solve this particular problem. And that is basically the end of the question 3. If you have any doubts, please post them in the comments and I'll try to get back to you very soon. Moving on to the question 4, we will plot points in 3-dimensional coordinate systems, and also we will find the distance between points. Now here you have been given a point 2, 1 and 5. If it was, say, A is 2, 1, you know, we know it's x and y. This is x, y. X-axis, say 1, 2, it's over here. Y is 1. And this would be the point, isn't it? But how would we plot something which is having more than 2 dimensions, more than 2 coordinates? Now it's x, y, and z over here. Now here we need to have the grid. I will just use this one over here, the first step. See, we need to start plotting x, y, and z. You do not need to write anything. You just have to plot it out and then write all the coordinate points. You know, when we get the 3-dimensional figure, we have to write it out. But it's very simple. First thing, you always start with 0, 0, the base. Okay? Now you might see there are 3 lines. Which is which line? Now we know always x and y. X is the horizontal line, y is the vertical line, isn't it? But now imagine this line over here, this coordinate, right, is now it's like a page which is like vertically kept, right? Now this is over here, plus, and you know, like a plus sign. Now keep it on flat. If you keep it flatly, it'll look something like this, isn't it? Now similarly, imagine this x and y, which are always together. They are over here and over here. Now still, x and y is not just the same thing. X-axis is always the one which is like this, slanted, and y is the flat line over here. And the depth, which was considered the last one, the depth is the z-axis or the z-axis. That is the depth of the height. So please memorize this. X is this flat one. If you're coming front, you know, front ahead, this is the positive coordinate, whereas going back would be minus, going right would be plus, and going left would be minus, and going up would be plus, and going down would be minus. This is the coordinate system. Now here, let's see the points 2, 1 and 0. But first we always have to start with 0, 0, 0. That is the first coordinate point. I'll write over here. The first one which I marked is 0, 0 and 0. Next, what do we do? Start one by one. What is this? It is 2, right? So let's go ahead in the x-axis, positive 2, 1, 2. So this is the coordinate system. So the second point would be x is the only thing which we have added 2, and then it's 0 and 0. So let me just write these over here. We will have many points. So now it'll be 8, exactly 8 points only, not many points, 8 points. Now then, which is the next one? So it is 1, but where is this 1? It is along y-axis. It's always x, y, and z, right? So we have to move right side to 1 because it's positive. If it's left, it's minus. Can you see this point here? It should be in line with that. So if you draw a parallel line along this line, so the two lines which should be parallel over here would be the y. Let me just draw it out over here. So it's 1. It should be a straight horizontal. If you count this distance, imagine this is 1 centimeter, draw a flat line at 1 centimeter somewhere over here, okay? That would be the next point. So that is how much? It'll be 2. Already we have done the x. Then y is 1 and then z is 0. And now what is the z value? It's 5, isn't it? So from here we have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So it'll be somewhere over here. That's the fifth point. So now we have 2, 1 and 5 over here. Then what about the other points? See, from here, if we start drawing, you will get this, and there will be this point which will be a grid right at the base. So what is this point? Easily we can denote the next point. Why? Because there are 2 points on right side. So over here, right side only, then only we'll get a rectangular grid over here at the bottom. This is a two-dimensional thing. So what would be that point? See here, from 0, what is happening? Only this 1 is being added because it's along the x-axis itself. It's not moving. It's along the z. It's flat over there. Only we are moving at y-axis. So it'll be 0, 1 and 0. So that would be the other point. Now all these 4 points, right, whichever we got, have to be added by 5 on the z-axis. Just move them up by 5. So this already is done. There's this. See, now we will go on the 0, 0, 0 point. That's easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just over here. It's very easy, isn't it? That is the point. So this is 0, 0 and 5. And what about the other two? There are 2 more remaining. What about this one? It's 1 to the right and then let's take 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be just over here, but 1 to the right. That's over there. So it's 0. Even the y coordinate is included, 1 and 5. And what is the last point that's remaining? So this is already lifted up. We didn't lift this one. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll just be left to this, isn't it? So these are the coordinate systems. Now, how do we get this point? Now, this had moved its x-axis already. We have moved the x-axis. That's 2. So we have to write the 2. Did we move it along the y-axis? No, it's 0. And the z-axis, it's 5. Now we got all the 4 grids. We can join them, softly. You need to use scale to join them. I'm just doing it roughly over here as well. You join all these points. This is on the line and this one, it'll be the 3-dimensional grid. And these are the points. Now you can see the final answer would be something like that over here. See, this is the grid. Now mine is not accurate. It's not, properly done. But anyways, that's you can see over here because I use this grid. Now this is matching this grid. But you can get the gist of it. That is the answer. Now I will tell you one other way directly you can get these points. Okay, let me just go back. Here, these all values can be written like this. I'll show you now. Now we will always begin the first point with 0, 0 and 0. Next one, I will start with this 2 and then other things are 0 and 0. Third point will be, I'll write 0, 1, 0. Just I'm writing the y point, and now I'll write the z point. That is 0, 0, 5. So it'll be 0, 0 and 5. Now what about the fifth point over here? So we will write 2 points and then the 0. So we'll write 2, 1 and 0. Now we'll shift. It'll be 0, 1, 5. And lastly we have what else? Okay, this is there. 2, 0 and 5. So we have there's 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. Over here there are 2 zeros, all zeros. And lastly the point would be all the points together, 2, 1, 5. Isn't that easy? Now if you plot all these points, I'll show you here. 0, 0 is this point. This is 2, 0, 0 would be this. Now x is 0, 1 and 0 this one. What about this 0, 0, 5? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will be that point. 2, 1. So 1, 2 and then 1 to the right somewhere over here. And what else? 0 over here only. Okay, 1 and up by 5. This will be the point. 205. That is 1, 2. No y, just 5 up over here somewhere. It will be in the middle like this, I believe. Then 215, that will be somewhere over here. So that will be the answer. Now, if you join them, these were the points, right? We got, yes. So this is another way. This is like the shortcut way. But actually, I told you the steps by step way. That is how we move one by one. So this is how we can easily plot it. And your answer should look like this. And please make sure you write all the vertex points. These vertex means the end points, okay? Mention all the end points. You can give them like A, B, C, D. After you draw it, you can just give any of the denotation. Now, even over here, what I'll do is I'll do the shortcut method. Okay, we need a grid, so I'll use this grid and let's draw from there. The first point would be always, I like to start with 0, 0. You have to start with 0, 0, 0. Then what I do is I write only the first point, then others are 0. So this should be 0 here, 0, and then I move that to 4, and then other things are 0. Fourth point would be 0, 0, and 2. Fifth point I would consider to be only now, okay, now 2 zeros are done, only 1 0 will be there. So it's -1, 4, and then we have got 0. Sixth one would be 0, 4, and 2. And lastly, let's put the 0 in the middle. So it'll be -1, 0, and 2. And lastly, we write the given point itself. That is -1, 4, and 2. So now when we substitute it all, like let's just put these values over here. So we have got 1 over here, it's 2. Okay, these points already done. What happens is, see, now here it's going back. So from 0, 0, 0, you go back by 1, that is -1. Okay, this is going back by 1. And then let's go 4 to the right because it's y-axis. So from here, be 1, 2, 3, 4, somewhere over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this will be the point. If you have a scale, you can measure it properly. And even over here, it will be over here along the fourth. 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? This one over here. And this goes up by 2. So it'll be, you should just measure this distance and put it over here. Let me just put all the points over here directly. And that'll be just below this. Okay, over there. And that'll be over here. If you get the base, then you can easily plot it out. And that's the thing. So over here, we will join them all. That's it. So that is one of the very easy problems. And you can see that'll be the answer. Mine is not so accurate, but you can get very accurate by using scales. And these are all the points. Similarly, let's do the others as well. From here, -2 is minus backside. And then we have x as -2. And then y is also +2. So I'll take over here 1, 2. And then up also is 2. And what about this point? Will be somewhere over here. And all the points over here will be moving up by 2. So 1, 2, somewhere over here, here, here. And then you join them up. That's it. And you can get the point. You can get the points from here, or you can do the method which I have written. So let's do it. It's 0, 0, 0. Let's start with the first point and then all the zeros. Let's start with the now 0 and second point. Second point is +2 and again 0, and lastly we have 0, 0, 2. So you can do this by yourself from this and then write the points by heart from this method which I'm telling you over here. So we have now -2 and 2, 0. Then we have 0, 2 and 2. And then lastly we have -2, 0, and 2. And then the given point itself, -2, 2, and 2. These are all the answers which we have. And you can see the answer somewhat like this. It's just a cube. And here as well, let's solve them quickly. We need at least the grid. I hope the grid will, I'm sure the grid must be given, otherwise it's very hard to solve. The grids will be given. Now from here we have +3, 1, 2, 3. And then -4, so it's to the left. So I'll start with over here, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1 point. From here also 4, it will be somewhere over here. And then 1 up above, that's just over here, just here. That's okay. Now this is a bit tricky. From here you take 4, sorry 1, that'll be just here and here. So the base is these points which I just now drew, and the top one are these points, and then you just draw the straight lines. So that's the cube, and the points over here would be 0 0 0, 3 0 and 1 and 0, sorry, 0 minus 4 and 0, 0 0 and 1. Now we'll start with 2 points, 3 minus 4 and 0, 0 minus 4 and 1, and then lastly we have 3 0 and 1. And now finally all the points here, this is it. There'll be 8 points, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So you can see the figure is here. That's the correct answer. Let's do the fifth one. We need at least one grid. And now I'll write the points 0 0 0, 4 0 and 0. I hope this is all clear. You can just move to the next problems. I'm going to solve anyways only the writing problems, all the problems. That's why I'm solving it over here, though they are the same ones. And lastly we have, okay, I've done a mistake. This should be 0. Now this is again 0, 5 and minus 3. I always like to take one, two zeros at, okay, now again I've done a mistake. This is 0 0 and minus 3. So what I like to do is start with 2 zeros, 0 and minus 3. Now I would put 2 numbers and 1 0 only, 4 5 and 0. Then we have 4 0 and minus 3, and then lastly we can write 0, 5 and minus 3. So they are all unique numbers. And lastly we write the given point itself, that is 4 5 and minus 3. So this is it. So you will have 3 unique points, and then only you can solve this up. And okay, we did not graph it, so let's quickly graph it. Here 4 is 1 2 3 4, and what about y? Y is 5, 1 2 3 4 5. Let me say 1 2 3 4 5. Yes, this is the point. And then what is the z value? Minus 3. It's going down, 1 2 3 over here. Now this point also will go down by 3. That's over here. But there's one more point in the middle. So from here we have to take 5, isn't it? 1 2 3. It'll be somewhere over here approximately. You have to measure it and do it. Okay. Now this, if you graph, is the upper grid, because the z value is negative, it's going down. Now here from here 1 2 3, somewhere over here. This is already done. This one will be over here. So now this is another grid. So now we join them. All that'll be the answer. So here you can see it's not that accurate, but it's accurate enough. Okay, now I forgot to tell you about the dotted lines. I'm so sorry. I just remembered it. So always see whichever sides are visible. This will be visible, visible, visible. All the outer sides, you just draw it straight line. The dotted line is for the sides which are like behind it. See now, look here. This is outside, right? Imagine this was a colored, colored plane. You can't see anything inside. So this really you can't see. So it's dotted lines. Okay. And then all the above right side, you can do it directly. So that is the concept. Here also we will see 0, 0 and 0. So what I'll do is I'll write this like this. 4 only, 1 only, and then I have minus 3. And now here I will write 4 and 1. I'll write 1 and minus 3. Over here I will write 4 and minus 3. And then lastly 4, 1, minus 3. Then now I can add the zeros easily. I hope you understood what I did. I just wrote the numbers which I'm writing and then the zeros. So that's the coordinates. Now here we have 4x, that's front. It's coming towards us. That is 1 2 3 4. Y is 1. This is 1 point. Minus 3 again, it will be going down. This is another point. And then what is the next point? Somewhere over here is the other point. So this is basically the base, and now everything is going down. So here 1 2 3, that is down over here. 1 2 3, it's down here and down here. So that will be the other grid, other base, the bottom side. And now here, which is dotted, this one will be dotted, this one will be dotted, and the coordinate will be dotted. All the others, these three, this and this, are dotted. All the others will be solid lines. So you can see, but the coordinates, since it's touching the coordinate, even the dotted won't be noticed, but that is supposed to be dotted, this and the other one. So that's it. Now they are asked us to find distance between the pairs. This is again a very easy concept. You know the distance formula, right? It is always x2 minus x1 the whole squared plus y2 minus y1 the whole squared. But here we have three, not just 2 points, x1, y1, this is x2, y2. What about the next one? It's z1, z2. So we modify the formula to add all the coordinates. It'll be x2 minus x1 the whole squared plus y2 minus y1 the whole squared plus z2 minus z1 the whole squared. So this is it. Now we substitute the values. Here x2 is 2 minus 0 the whole squared plus 4 minus 0 the whole square plus 3 minus 0 the whole square, and now you should just take the square root of it. So it's 2 minus 0 is 2 square is 4 plus 4 square is 16 plus 3 square is 9, and that would be 20 plus 9, it's square root of 29, somewhere 5 point something. That would be the answer. Now you can leave it as a root for 29, that's fine. This is the exact distance. Similarly, we can solve the other problems. Let's quickly do it. Same formula doesn't change. You need to write the formula every question, but I'm not going to write it now. I'll directly substitute x2 9 minus of minus 2 the whole square plus 0 minus 5 the whole square plus 4 minus of minus 1 the whole square. Why? Because it's x2 9 minus x1. x1 is already minus 1, so we use the bracket. Now here what happens is 9 minus of minus will become plus 2 the whole squared plus it'll be minus 5 the whole squared plus 4 minus of minus 1 will be 5 whole squared. Now we have 9 plus 2 is 11 squared plus 20. Here minus 5 the whole square is directly, I'll write 25 plus over here also 25, and then we have 11 as 121 plus 50, that is equal to square root of 171. That will be the exact value, that is the distance between these 2 points, 171 square root. Here as well, I'll directly use the formula. I'm not going to write the formula. It's 1 minus 4 the whole squared plus 0 minus of minus 6 the whole squared plus 1 minus 0 the whole squared. And then you can put this in the calculator directly and solve. There's no problem in that. It's minus 3 the whole squared plus 6 the whole squared plus 1 squared. Here we have 9 plus 36 plus 1. That will be 46 square root. It's very close to 7, 6 point something. So square root 46. And lastly, we have got this problem here. Square root of 0. Now you can even, instead of writing 0 minus 0 minus, I'll just change this. I'll take this as x1, y1, z1, x2, y2, z2. That's absolutely fine. You can interchange the points, right? So I'll write 8 minus 0 the whole square, x2 minus x1. You can write 0 minus 8. It's the same thing. When you square it, negative 8 becomes positive 8. Minus 8 minus 8 is 64. The answer is same. Because minus 8 when you square, or when you square 8 positive, it's same, 64 and 64. So I just changed it over here so it'll be easier to write. 7 squared plus 7 minus 0 the whole square plus minus 2 plus 0 the whole squared. And here we have 8 squared plus 7 squared plus minus 2 the whole square. It's the same thing. 64 plus 49 plus 4. And over here it will be 50, 114, 117. So the answer is 117 square root. Or it can be written as 3 root 13 because you can take a common term out and then we can solve it. So this is how we basically solve it, because over here 117 is basically 9 times 13 is square root 117. And this can be simplified. 9 can be written as 3 and this is 13. So this is 3 root 13. Or you can just put in the calculator, you'll directly get this answer. So that's how we solve these three-dimensional problems. And that's the end of this question. We move on to the last question in the writing part. This is about application of trigonometry in real life. If here we have a real life situation. In theater, Albert is helping to build a set for a play. One piece of scenery is a large triangle that will be constructed out of wood and be painted to represent a mountain. Albert would like to know the area of a piece of the scenery so that he can buy the right amount of paint. He needs to know the area over here. What is the area of the triangle? Round your answer to the nearest tenth of a foot. Now it's in feet, that's why it's foot. And how do we find the area? Here we know the side, we know this side, and we know the included angle, the angle between them, isn't it? So the area can be given as, imagine now this is A, B, and this is C, then this angle will be the capital C. Always if this is a side, imagine this is side A, the angle over there opposite to it is the angle A. Now this will be angle B. So the formula is area of a triangle is given by here a sine, half a b, these are the sides. When we write small letter, it denotes the sides, and sine capital C. Now this can be rearranged. It can be half BC sine A, as long as you know the given values. Whenever we know two sides and the included angle, what we do is AB and this is C. That's it. So now all you do is substitute half. What is A? 8 multiplied by 8 multiplied by 10, and we have sine 34 degrees. Now since we have sine, we have to use calculator here. But still we can solve some of it. This is 4 times 2 times 1, 2 times 4, 2 times 4 is 8, and 4 times 10 is 40 sine 34. That will be the area. And now use your calculators here. All we need to do is 40 sine 34 degrees. It's in degrees. Or you can just type this out, half into 8 into 10, that's fine. The answer is 22.36, but they have told nearest tenth. So it'll be 22.4. That'll be the answer. See, 22.36 will be approximated to 22.4. This is the formula. Now it depends two sides. Now if this and this angle were given, now imagine these two angles were given, and this is looking like more than 90, say 105. Don't use this angle. You have to use this included angle. Whereas if this side was given and not this side, then this angle would have been used. So you should know which is the included angle. Now we need to find the error. Terence and Rodrigo are trying to determine the relationship between angles of elevation and depression. Angle of elevation means this one from the the base. This is angle of elevation. If this is the base and then going down, this is the angle of depression. Terence says that if you're looking up at someone with an angle of elevation of 35 degrees, then you're looking down at the person with the angle of depression of 55 degrees. Which is the complement of 35 degrees? Okay, yeah, 90 minus 35 is 55. Rodrigo disagrees and says that the other person would be looking down at you with this angle of depression equal to the angle of elevation or 35 degrees. Who is correct? Explain your reasoning. Now here, imagine there are two people. Okay, this person and this person from below. This is the base. This is the base. The eyesight will be always parallel to each other. Now this guy, first person is looking in the angle of elevation, so it looks up. Okay, from the base it's 35 degrees. Now when he looks down, how much will be this angle? They're alternating interior angle. It has to be same. So you need to tell Who is the second person? Rodrigo is correct because he told they both are equal. Yes, angles of elevation and depression, E is for elevation and depression, are equal, are congruent. They're congruent, so it's same. Why? Because they are alternative interior angles. Alternating interior angles means, see, these two are parallel and they're inside, so alternative interior angles. So that's it. That is the reasoning. Alternate interior angles. And over here, yeah, that's it. So you can write in your own words. If you want, you can even draw the figure. That means you understood it thoroughly, that's the thing. A classmate finds the angle of elevation of an object, but she is trying to find the angle of depression. Write a question to help her solve the problem. Now, someone as classmate finds already angle of elevation is done. She's trying to find the angle of depression. So angle of depression. Now, what is the relationship between them? They both are equal. If someone tells her what is the relationship between angle of elevation and angle of depression, then she will come to know, okay, they both are equal. So whatever the angle she has found over here, imagine it's 50 degree, then both are 50 degrees, right? So what is the relationship between the angle of elevation and the angle of depression? That will help the student to solve this particular problem. Classify the statement below as true or false. Explain your reasoning. As a person moves closer to an object, he or she is sighting the angle of elevation. He or she is sighting the angle of elevation increases. Let's imagine this is the person over here, and imagine this is the object over here, maybe a big wall, and this beautiful ornament over here at the top. So this is your angle of elevation, right? Right. I mean, yeah, angle of elevation. You're looking up. Now this person is walking, 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 coming over here. Is now here, the same person, same line of sight. Okay, the same line of sight exists. Okay, don't think this guy is short, it's the same person. Here it looks like, it's about 30 degrees. Now look, am I drawing the same line? No, it goes up. This is about 45 degrees. If I go very closer, it's nearly 90 degrees. If I'm just below that point, it'll be 90 degrees above. So what is happening? As you move closer to an object, the object becomes more and more bigger, and you can see the angle of elevation always increases. So this is true basically. Okay, you can just tell as you walk towards any object, it becomes bigger and the angle of elevation increases. So you can see, yeah, that's because, see, the horizontal distance decreases, but the height of the object remains the same. Yeah. See, now the distance over here is too long, isn't it? But as you move closer, the distance over here decreases, but this height, it's a stuck object. It's not moving. It's going to be at the same position, right? That's the reason. Now, here we have an interesting problem. Here we have been told this angle over here is 70 degrees. So what about this angle here? That's going to be 20, right? Because this is 90, 70, 20. So that'll be 180. And this is 15. So we know this much is 15. And we know 2, but we don't know what is this. So I will just assume this to be A. And now this is X. So we need to solve X. But the problem is we don't have any enough information. There is no way you can use any trigonometric function from here, this 20 degrees. You can't find any side. See, now what are you going to do? Any of the tan degrees, right? You need to know at least one side, which we do not know. Over here, only a part of the side is known, nothing else. So let us consider this side over here as B. And let's write how we can relate these two angles with B and this base. Why this base? Because I know the total length is how much? 2 plus A here. A, and this is 2, so total is 2 plus A. So what I will do over here is, this is 20 degree. I'll consider this to be theta or this to be theta. Which is the opposite side? This one, right? And which is this side? This is the hypotenuse. This will be adjacent. So what do we know? These two sides are opposite and adjacent. So what happens? Which trigonometric function relates both of them? It's only tan theta. So I can write tan theta. I'll take this as the first triangle and the outside one, the total one, as second one. So tan theta 1 will be equal to opposite by adjacent. And the same thing goes to the second triangle as well. Tan theta 2 is equal to opposite by adjacent as well, but the dimensions are different. B value remains same. Now we will see it. What is the first degree? Tan theta 1, it's 20 degrees. I'll write 20. This will be equal to, what is the opposite side? It's B divided by adjacent over here is A. That is, and over here we have tan 15. See, this is 15, right? Opposite is B and adjacent is 2 plus A. Now let's write both of these in terms of B. So I'll take this A to the other side. A into tan 20 degrees will be equal to B, whereas 2A, 2 plus A multiplied with tan 15 is also B. Can I equate B and B? Because B is literally the same side. So I can equate these both. So from here, I can get A tan 15 degrees is equal to 2 plus A times tan 15 degrees. So only A is unknown now, right? We can easily solve for A. So what do we do here? Here we will just, here you have nothing to do, tan 15, that's it. But here we need to multiply tan 15 inside. So it'll be 2 times tan 15 plus here A times tan 15 degrees. So now, I'm sorry, this is not tan 15, this is tan 20. So because it would have gone off, that wouldn't make sense. It'd be zero over there. Sorry, the left side is tan 20 degrees. This is tan 20. So now what I would do is, I will group all the A's to one side and keep the other things at one side. So I'll take this tan to the other side. Now, how would you take that? So you should know which is bigger. So let's use our calculators and check. Here, let's put tan 20 first. It's 0.36. What about 15? It's 0.26. So tan 20 is bigger. So leave this over here and take this to the other side. So it'll be A tan 20 degrees minus A tan 15 degrees. That will be equal to 2 tan 15. Now you can solve it in calculator over here and then solve it up, or you can just put this entirely in the calculator as well. Now what I'm saying is, you have to solve for tan 20, tan 15 and this entire thing in the calculator, see at the right side. And then you take everything to the others, divide by that number and then solve it. But instead of all that mess, I'll just put this entirely in the calculator. Alpha x multiplied by tan 20 over here, close the bracket, minus, what is this, A, alpha x multiplied by tan 15, close the bracket, that is equal to 2 times tan 15. That close the bracket, shift and solve, then equal to, the answer is 5.58. That is the A value which we got. A is equal to 5. Now nearest 10th, right? So I won't take 5.8, I'll just take it as 6, 5.6. And now here A value is 5.6. This is 2. So what happens? The base is basically 7.6. 5 plus 2 is 7.6. This is the base. Now, this is what we need to solve, right? And we know this angle is 15 degrees. So I'll not erase everything. I'll just draw over here for a minute. And you can see here, this is x, this is 15, sorry, not x. And this is not 7. Okay, I'll just erase this part over here. This here is x, this is 7.6, and I know 15. So which will relate it? 90 degrees. This is the hypotenuse, and this for theta will be the adjacent. Let us use cos theta. Cos theta is adjacent by hypotenuse, and now substitute the values. Cos 15 degrees will be equal to 7.6 divided by hypotenuse is x. So I'll take x to the other side. It will be 7.6 divided by cos 15 degrees, and whatever we get will be the answer. All you do is put it in the calculator. 7.6 divided by cos 15 degrees, close the bracket. The answer is 7.86. That is the final answer. Here you can see, okay, it's not over here, 7.86. It's 7.9. Now here you can see this is not correct, right? At 7.8 we are getting 7.9. The reason is Though it was nearest tenth, look at the values they have taken. They have considered more than one value. This is an error over here. You're supposed to take, once it mentioned nearest tenth, you're supposed to round it off to nearest tenth all the time. I mean, not only for the x, or if you take more than three values, you will get a little bit of a difference, but don't worry. It is fine. This is almost the correct answer. And when if you write this or the other one, 7.9, which we get in the calculator for rounding off to 10th at every step, both will be given full marks. Both should be awarded full marks. So don't worry about that. So that is how we solve it. I'll just recall. First thing is we find the A value. And then once we find the A value using this B, we find the total length at the bottom, this line. That is the adjacent to 15 degrees. And then we use cosine because we know the degrees over here, hypotenuse is unknown, but the adjacent will be known, and we use cosine and we solve for x. That's how we solved it over there. Now here, the last problem. Describe a way that you can estimate the height of an object without using trigonometry. Explain your reasoning. There are ways. Let me just look in the answer and then... Okay, they're using like how to find the height. Okay, got it. So here, say for example, isosceles triangle. If you know the isosceles triangle as two equal bases, equal angles, and then these both are equal. So you can use this and find the height. You can find the length or something. Now, if you have 45, say they are mentioned over here, 45, 45, 90, then you do not need trigonometry. You can easily find there is a length, the length or the height will be given by direct formulas. So if you have certain angle of elevation of 45 degrees, then one angle of elevation is 45 degree, then the other side will be 45, 45, 90, right? So such triangles, right, have congruent legs. And then you have direct formula to solve the heights and everything. So that is what they are meaning. So yes, you can use without trigonometry, provided the angles are specific angles. It should be 40, 40, 45, 45, 90, or there is 30, 60, 90. Even for 30, 60, 90 degrees, you can easily solve the height without using trigonometry. So that is what they're just saying. You can just tell there are situations where the angle of elevation can be 30, 60, 90, or 45, 45, 90, and then we can directly find the legs and the height. That is the end of all the writing part questions. If you have found these videos helpful, please share it with your friends. Let them know about this channel Best Math, where you can find all the end of term exam questions and exam lessons explanation for free. And I just want to thank all the students who like my videos, who share my videos, and all the gratitude comments. I really thank you so much. Your comments really make my day. A single thank you always puts a big smile on my face. Thank you very much. And I wish you all the best in your exams. I hope everyone does well. If you have any doubts, any clarifications, please do post them in the comments and I will get back to you.